It is 6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans fall in Indianapolis yesterday, 38-14, and dropped to 1-7 on the season. Cam Ward threw for 259 yards, a touchdown, as well as an interception. Rookie tight end Gunnar Helm had his first touchdown reception of his career on a 1-yard pass in the second quarter. Tajay Spears had the other Titans touchdown with a 3-yard rush late in the fourth quarter. For the Colts, it was the Jonathan Taylor show again as he had 174 total yards and 3 total touchdowns. Interim head coach Mike McCoy will speak to the media later this afternoon. Sunday Night Football last night, Aaron Rodgers faced off against the Packers for the first time in his career as the Steelers hosted Green Bay, but the Packers got the 35-25 win. Jordan Love threw for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns, as well as rushing for a score as well. In other NFL news, per Tom Pelissero this morning, former Titans wide receiver Tyler Lockett is signing with the Raiders today. It'll be a reunion in Las Vegas for Lockett with Geno Smith and head coach Pete Carroll, who spent several seasons together in Seattle. And in college football over the weekend, Tennessee takes care of Kentucky in Lexington, 56-34, and they move up to number 14 in the AP poll. Vanderbilt with a top 25 matchup, beating Missouri 17-10 in Nashville on Saturday. They move up to one spot to number 9 in the AP poll. Also, LSU has announced that they have fired head coach Brian Kelly following their 49-25 loss to Texas A&M Saturday night. Kelly finished his tenure in Baton Rouge at 34-14 in 3.5 seasons. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Monday morning on 104.5 The Zone begins. As a brand new week begins with Ramon and Will. Fueled by Scooters Coffee. As always, Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet, where you can go to get a little pick-me-up to start your day and your week. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. The Tennessee Titans fall to the Indianapolis Colts by a final score of 38-14. As always, our only guest on Mondays is you. 615-737-1045. Ramon Foster back from Lexington. I'm back from Indianapolis as of late last night. We stream the show live for you on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Justin Hawkins, our producer, on Monday, October the 27th. Good morning, Ramon Foster.
Good morning, Will. Man, I'm coming in with an attitude today, man, a good one. I don't want to make it seem like a bad attitude. Coming in with an attitude that, look, whatever happens, happens. You know, like we somewhat had an understanding of what this would be. There was hope and optimism into what this season could turn into because you had Cam Ward and number 1 overall pick, et cetera, et cetera. But I say that to say, call in. Get your frustration out if you have any, and we're going to walk through this process, Will, of what happened over the course of the weekend. That's just how I'm looking at it now. Like, if you're upset, cool, but I got a feeling most of everybody who, followed this team understood that there was going to be some struggles. That was kind of the way I looked at it yesterday. It's like the Colts are just good, and the plays that they were making were solid. My headline, if there ever was one for a weekend like this one, just not there yet. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I see what some are saying Cam has inside of him, but in totality of what he is as a quarterback, it's not where they are as a team. That's just where I'm at. Like Mama said, there will be days like this. It's kind of how I feel. If you're mad, I get it. I kind of want to hear the angry, but at the same time, the Colts are good. I just want to throw that out there, too.
They are. It is a difficult place to play. It is an offense that is clicking. It is a team that does not allow you to help them beat you, and you have success, meaning it was going to take an A-plus effort considering who all was out, and the Titans didn't have an A-plus effort. We'll talk about the different elements of what happened. We'll talk about the offense's lack of rhythm after a first-half drive. Again, Ramon, we're just going to have a lot of the same conversations we did last week. One key decision in the second half that Mike McCoy made that we will get into this morning. There's just not a lot you can control, Ramon.
Yeah.
When you are missing the players the Tennessee Titans are missing and are matched up against the team that may be the best team in the NFL to start the season. There are some things the Titans could have controlled better that we will talk about. Overall, Ramon, though, with Cam Ward yesterday, what was your big observation about the way he played? What did you think about Cam's day at the office?
What I didn't like about Cam is something he's going to have to fix. What I like about it, let me start with the positive first.
Okay.
The competitive nature that you see he has, the intent each and every series, I feel like to a certain point, and that's where I'll get to a certain point, was good in how he commanded, encouraged his teammates, try to be out front. And that's just what I love about him. What I don't like is when they get bad, you see him get frustrated. You see him look as if he has a little bit of an attitude about himself. He tries to force stuff. Cam has this throwing motion sometimes. It looks like he's just trying to force the football in certain situations when he's down. And the only reason I notice that is because, one, they're down usually in games, but he'll try to heave a football into an area or just dot it, and it sails on him. I think it's because he's trying too hard. Cam, I feel like at some point is going to have to realize, look, my play is my play. I don't have to overdo my throws. I don't have to try to force it every single time. And what I mean by that is if you watch him throw, it seems like he has a tilt, and then he'll go over himself to throw the football as if he's throwing a shot put in a time or two. And it looks to me as if he's frustrated and trying to make stuff happen. That's something that he has to clean up, because when it comes down to the way teams are going to try to attack him, they're going to hit him. They're going to try to push him to the ground. They're going to try to get him outside of himself. And most quarterbacks I know try to be as even as possible. And it seems like as the games go on and the worse that they get at times, you kind of see that coolness that he plays with and that focus kind of deteriorate over the course of the game. Now, that's my view on TV. It may be different than yours on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, I think he made some really high-level throws yesterday. And I think that he's continuing to take small steps forward. The challenge for this offense is that it's not resulting in points. And the Titans continue to get into enemy territory or into the plus side of the 50 without getting the points to show for it. I think that's where this offense is becoming more and more frustrating, is their ability to get into that spot to have success, but not click.
Yeah.
Not actually have the success that you're putting yourself in position to find. 5 of the Titans' first 8 drives in this game ended in Indianapolis territory. They scored once on those 8 possessions. That's a difficult way to live. You're not going to win a lot of games in the NFL playing that way. And we'll talk about why the reasons are that they can get past the 50 but not into the end zone, or at least into the 20, because a lot of what they're doing is either kicking really long field goals, taking a sack to knock themselves back out of an advantageous position, or just, fizzling in the red zone. Here's where I'm at, Ramon, though, with this team. At this point, are you more concerned about Cam's development in the offense or the way the defense is playing right now? How much can we really judge this Titans defense yesterday without Jeffrey Simmons, Arden Key, or L'Jarius Sneed?
Man, I'll be honest with you. It's even for me on both of those. And the only reason I bring that up is because of this. I don't know what offense Cam's going to be running next year. Like, his development, yes, is going to play a huge part in it, but it's also very questionable on what they're teaching him, because whoever the coach is next year is going to have a totally different set of system and understanding of what he is. I do feel like watching him play, they're trying to make sure that he looks good, because I think Mike McCoy wants his job himself. But it's highly questionable, because what's going to be the end product of if he looks good in this system? He's going to go play in another system next year. So that's the part of it to me. It's like, yeah, the development is good, but I don't know where that's leading you in the end.
Well, like I said, the same thing about the defense, right?
Well, the defense, to me, I feel like the defense, aesthetically, all of them should be the same in a sense. What we're seeing right now is this defense deteriorate. They're missing tackles. They're losing one-on-one matchups in situations like this. And I'm not. The effort seems to be there, but their ability to make stops, their ability to be good in gaps, seems to fall under. Like the way, I don't know, he's a special. Heck, he might be front runner for MVP at this point, but Jonathan Taylor.
He's not going to win MVP.
I know, but like the conversation of him being
Offensive
strong
player of the year,
in it.
maybe, yeah.
But the point is, the strong part
Right.
of the season that he's having right now, he's playing as high of a level as anybody in the NFL, and he had another spectacular game yesterday on missed tackles, on guys fitting up in the wrong holes. Like all of that is basic middle school, high school, college defense, and those guys are kind of missing their points. Over the duration of games like this. It's
You're
not
right.
just this week, but it was last week also with Ramondre Stevenson and those guys. Like, that's where the defense, to me, is that's more questionable than what Cam's got going on because they're supposed to be the ones that leading the way.
Honestly, yesterday you saw why Jeffrey Simmons is not movable.
It's true.
Because if you were to trade Jeffrey Simmons and then swing and miss or even just not get the ball out of the infield on the ensuing draft pick you got for Jeffrey Simmons, that's what it's going to look like for a little while. And his value to this defense and the level that he's played at this year sets you up to look like that against a good opponent on the road without him on the field. He's the most important player on the Titans roster other than maybe Cam Ward. So I think his value, his importance to this organization, to this team, to this defense, certainly is proven yesterday. I did, too, speaking of the Colts crowd, which was a little more testy of some of the ones that I've been down there for behind the Titans bench. Yeah, it's just that they don't like the Titans. I mean, it's a rivalry game. I'm not surprised. They're just saying little one-off comments and heckling and things like that. It's nothing to be unexpected in an NFL game, especially division. But they started chanting MVP for Jonathan Taylor. I was like, huh?
I'm telling you.
I literally made a face. I was like, what do y'all... That's a quarterback award. What are you talking about?
Is there a hotter player in the NFL right now?
Probably not. No. I mean, with Jonathan Taylor, he's got to stay healthy for 18 games to be able to prove that he could be up for awards like that. I mean, right now he's probably your offensive player of the year.
But there's no bigger quarterback. There's no big quarterback right now playing at the level that he's playing. To your point, late November, late December football's got to be high up.
Absolutely.
No doubt. The hottest quarterback right now that's playing in the NFL is on his team.
It's a good football team, though. Really good football team. Yeah, you're right. Honestly, I mean, I think Daniel Jones has more of an MVP case than Jonathan Taylor.
Or comeback player of the year, both.
Which says more just about the nature of that award than it does either player. But anyway, separate conversation. I thought yesterday was a good example of why the Titans can't really afford to just have blinders on the type of head coach they're going to hire. I'll explain more about what I mean by that when we come back. 615-737-1045, live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Why yesterday told me a lot about the Titans' options at head coach. Coming up next.
It's Ramon and Will here for Window Nation. We're in the middle, almost end of October, and the return of that chilly air we always talked about, well, it's back, and it could be seeping into your home. And that's if you have old, stuck, or cracked windows. You can eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with their top quality replacement windows that they have at Window Nation. Window Nation, one of the best companies around. They have some of the best replacement windows out there. Cool part about it is their installation crews can finish a job in 1 day or less, so you can get back to living your daily life inside of your home with minimum interruption, Will.
And Ramon, this month, when you buy 2 windows, you'll get 2 for free with Window Nation. There's no limit to how many windows you replace, and your total price includes 1 day installation. Make no payments for 2 years, no monthly payments, no down payment, and no interest until 2027, which is a big deal with the holidays coming up. 866-90-NATION or online at windownation.com. Schedule a fast free estimate now with the pros at Window Nation. Online at windownation.com. Monday morning in Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, 104.5 The Zone, and Zone TV. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, Sheffin and Bank Chat open. We are within touching distance of 18,000 subscribers. We're 6 away. You can be the one that gets us a little bit closer to 20,000 this morning on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel, youtube.com/1045 The Zone TV, where you go to watch us and interact with our most lively audience, which is there on the YouTube channel. Going to get your phone calls in a minute, 615-737-1045 with some lines open. Ramon, I said before the break, I thought yesterday was another example of why the Titans can't afford to do one thing with their coaching search, and it's this. There are enough issues to be fixed that you can't just go offense and an offensive mind for the betterment of Cam Ward. Mm-hmm. You also need, on the other side of this argument, a very good defensive mind to fix a defense that has taken a step back this year. Ramon, I'm not sure the defense at this point doesn't have more needs on paper going into the offense going into the offseason than the offense does. Mm-hmm. The Titans are probably going to address more of the offensive needs this offseason, again, for the betterment of their quarterback, which might mean you are actually more inclined to hire a defensive head coach who can do more with less.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm there with you. You see certain teams do certain stuff. I'll go to the college level real quick. Like Coach Stoops, Kentucky's head coach this past weekend. I viewed that team respectfully. I say this, okay? Do not take offense to it at all. But I correlated that team to the Titans. They have a young quarterback you see a lot of promise in. You see a team that got a method in how they want to operate offensively that's short to the line of scrimmage, getting the ball out of their hand. And you got a head coach and Coach Stoops that trusts his defense. I was thinking to myself, that's why defensive coaches, more than anything, they reset you. They get a baseline. They create a hard-nosed environment. To your point about doing more with less, I can tell you many of the players that Kentucky have on their squad right now that are NFL caliber, but the way they play football, hard-nosed, up front, in your face, and capitalizing on moments, and offensively, yes, you're not going to be super risky with the football in your possession, but what you're going to do is be efficient as heck. Those two things have to happen for the next coach of this team, Will, to your point. Whoever the coach is, I think now, looking at where they are, you need speed. You need power. You need playmakability on both sides of the football. When you ask me the question, what was more important, Cam's development or the defense? It's both. And I will start with the defense first because, again, you got to be able to have something in place. And right now, these guys are losing in their gaps. They're losing down the field. It looks as if they got guys stuck at the line of scrimmage and they can't find where to make tackles. Or you got the secondary now, which hadn't been a problem. It's 1 or 2 players that have been good for you, Amani Hooker, that can't fill the gap to stop a big run down the field. Like those types of things are slipping. And they're slipping bad right now. And the more and more that happens, the worse it's going to be to get back to zero again for this team. So I'm with you. I'm thinking a defensive-minded guy with a head coach leader type on offense as a coordinator. It has to be the makeup.
I thought yesterday the Titans' good moments were pretty good, while the Colts' good moments were excellent. But the problem is when the Titans have bad plays or bad moments, they are disasters. When the Colts had bad plays or bad moments, they were able to live to fight another day. Titans yesterday had a 41-yard run by Tajay Spears. They had 4 throws of 20-plus yards by Cam Ward. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. Their bad moments, though, are too bad. They've got to be more consistent and have more just solid plays beyond the really good parts of what you do. 2 plays of 50-plus yards, including an 80-yard run by Jonathan Taylor allowed by the defense. 4 more sacks allowed by the offense. Ramona, that I think is the story of this team in 2025. When the Titans make mistakes, they make big mistakes. And that is a sign of a young football team that is learning how to play professional football on the job.
It is. And again, it's not disrespectful. And I felt like going from Vrabel to Coach Callahan, some understanding of it, but like the resetting of this team has to be one that has to be time to it, and that's why I'm huge right now on Flores as a head coach. I'm not sure if he's going to Brian Flores,
Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator.
But what I do know about those guys, they're very direct in how they instruct their teams. Offensively, those guys seem to be a little bit more aggressive and more prone to satisfying their side of the ball because that's what their job is dependent on, their success.
The Titans need a culture setter regardless of what side of the football they coach.
100% guaranteed.
And the narrative around the kind of head coach you need has changed since this time last year. Because if the Titans had made a change this past offseason, you felt like there was enough good defensively that you were still doing that would have allowed you to, hey, let's just go get Cam Ward, a guy that fits Cam Ward. You don't have that luxury to just push a bunch of really good defensive candidates to the side because your defense has holes that need to be filled this offseason as well.
A defensive coach, in my mind, preserves the game. And an offensive head coach sometimes, I think, get outside of themselves from time to time. It's just how I've seen the mentality of those dudes from time to time. Okay, we're okay with punting because I trust my defense to back the offense up is how a defensive-minded head coach is. And that's kind of where they are as a squad right now, the Titans. They got to get to a reset to where that part of it, the nosebleeding is stopped. They hadn't got there yet this year.
Well, we will talk about the big punt the Titans had yesterday coming up in hour two because I don't know if that's the best example today considering what they did early in the third quarter yesterday.
That's very true.
But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones. 615-737-1045. Wes in East Nashville leads us off. What's up, Wes?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
We're good. Good morning, sir.
Excellent.
Excellent. Sorry to bother you guys. Just had a quick question I wanted to ask you guys. So, obviously, we got the number 1 overall draft pick. That did not mean that our roster was fantastic coming into the season. Talking to a lot of Titans fans in the offseason, I heard a lot of people, I don't remember if you guys in particular talked about it, but I heard a lot of people saying, like, oh, yeah, we could win 7, we could win 8, maybe, we could even be a dark horse to win the AFC South, a bunch of stuff like that. And I always thought that was a little far-fetched, and you guys might be able to back me up on this research, but just me thinking about it, it seems like the winningest rookie QB who was the number 1 overall draft pick was Andrew Luck, and I think he won 11. After that, I think the best anyone did was Cam Newton or Jameis Winston winning 6. And so for me, that's kind of what I was thinking coming in. I was thinking that 6 was a hard number for us, more or less, in the win total, given just the historical averages of a number 1 overall draft pick coming into the season. I thought that, like I said, I felt like 6 was a hard ceiling, but at the same time, it seems like we've had a couple that really just got away from us. So I wanted to ask you guys, keeping in mind that 6 could be, and you might disagree, you might think that 6 wasn't a hard ceiling. Do you think that we are on track with expectations realistically, or do you think that we are really taking a step back given all the holes that we had coming into this week? And I'll let you guys answer that question for me.
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate the call. To answer your question about rookie quarterbacks, the most wins, 2 quarterbacks won 13 games as rookies. Ben Roethlisberger and Dak Prescott.
He said number 1 overall quarterback.
Oh, number 1 overall?
Number 1 overall, yeah.
That's different.
His stance
Andrew Luck would be up there then.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels was number 2 overall, I guess. He won 12 last year. I think that, honestly, Ramon, our expectation, at least my expectation going in, was 6 wins. That was my hope, with the caveat that this team was going to have to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And the month of November was going to have to be an on-ramp to success. How many times did we say that this offseason? That, hey, the Titans don't leave the city of Nashville in the month of November. If they're going to have a good season that meets any level of expectations, they have got to play their best football in the month of November and take advantage of 3 straight home games.
Yeah.
So we're about to enter that part of the season. Obviously, you do so with an interim head coach, and Brian Callahan isn't here, which we would have expected in the offseason. But, Ramon, has this team met your expectations?
No. And also, I think it's taken a step back at almost every level, especially without Jeff on the defensive front. Even the linebackers, Cedric Gray, you see the promise in him. Cody Barton, you're with him for 2 more years, and he's kind of taken a little bit of a lateral progression too, in my personal opinion. But I'll say this. I actually thought, and it's because we were reviewing it in a vacuum, that this team was going to be a little bit more productive. What we saw in OTAs and then you saw in training camp too, I saw what looked like to me a very efficient offense, something that was going to cater to what Cam was capable of in his first year as a pro. Because I don't think we've seen enough of what we saw in OTAs. I thought in OTAs, the spring portion of the offseason, the dinking and dunking that he was doing was going to lead to more success for him. For whatever reason, going outside of that game plan has led him, Coach Callahan, to being fired, the offense taking a step back, and no real baseline that this team can work with right now. I thought the offensive line, to that point, too, taking a step forward, was going to bully people. And they absolutely have not. So there's a lot of factors outside the Tennessee Titans playing the Tennessee Titans that have led to this team taking a step back, in my personal opinion. I saw this team being a little bit more productive in training camp.
Yeah, we talked about that too, that if they were going to meet expectations, they were not deep enough to withstand injuries to critical players.
Listen, I got a real good friend of mine that was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in training camp when the Titans practiced against him. He said, man, the Titans got them one at quarterback. I'm telling you, they going to be nice. This was in the joint practice.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him last week. He was like, I don't know what this team is. This is not the same team we saw in training camp. I have the text messages to prove it. He said, this team that the Titans are right now is not the team they saw in Tampa.
What do you think the difference is? Like, what are we missing on this team that you liked so much of the offseason that hasn't translated?
A plan. It didn't look as if there was a plan for if the first one messed up. I saw somebody say, like, it wasn't flagrant that the Titans hired an offensive head coach. It was flagrant that the Titans hired a first-time play caller as the Titans head coach. And I think that's a portion of it, too. Like, having skin in the game does matter. And I feel like when the regular season started this year, it was such a high moment and excitement for Cam to be this guy's going to save everybody's job. And here we're going to make millions of dollars off of him. And I think it was a little, they looked down the road a little bit too much, Coach Callahan did, I feel. Like I told you again, when he was dinking and dunking in OTAs, I actually liked that. He shouldn't have this much on his plate.
Well, because the ball was getting out.
It was and what is the ball doing right now?
It's not getting out quickly enough.
Everybody that watches Cam, he holds the ball too long. Yeah. Like, you should force him to get rid of the football.
Which is a common mistake for rookies. Like, young quarterbacks struggle with timing on when to get rid of the ball. But the odd thing is, Ramon, to your point, that was not as big of an issue in the offseason.
Absolutely not.
It felt like Cam was showcasing some of the decisiveness that we needed to see from him, and somewhere along the way, that stopped happening. And maybe it's because, obviously, you've got the threat of being hit now. You have the threat of defenses trying to confuse you more. Obviously, Lou Anarumo, the Colts defensive coordinator, who I do think will be a candidate for this head coaching position, is one of those coaches who disguises everything pre-snap. And what you see pre-snap is not what you get post-snap. But that step into contact, that step into full speed has not shown Cam Ward's ability to process in the same way that he did back in June and July, which is a big reason why we had so much belief in Cam, to be honest, going into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is in Nashville up next. What's up, Michael? Good morning.
Good morning, fellas, and happy ugly Monday to you today.
You as well.
Man, I'll say this. With the Colts, I think why the Colts are so good, if you look at Buffalo and all these guys, they have a good defense to challenge them in practice. I mean, that's just what it is. Everything transitions to the field. I got a good defense that's going to challenge us, then whatever defense we're looking at, we can handle that. But I think, to the coaching aspect of it, I'm crossing my fingers, and I don't see Pittsburgh getting rid of Mike, but we need somebody like that that's going to come in and say, look, owners, sit back. I got this. They keep hiring these pushover coaches that's going to say, hey, we're going to do whatever y'all want us to do. This team doesn't need that. We need somebody that's going to come in, like y'all said, change the organization, give these guys a little swag or whatever the case may be. So I was looking at more of a Mike Tomlin kind of style guy that has that no nonsense. We're gonna come in here, or the coach, defensive coordinator. So, but my expectation with this team was always low. I was like, guys, if you know football, look at our team. This is probably maybe a 1 or 2 win team with a brand new coach who just looks like a deer in the headlights when it's go time. But who do y'all honestly think like that we really need to come in and just tell the ownership, sit back, I got this, and does not fear anything.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate the call.
Michael.
That's a good question.
I almost feel like we need to ask every caller that calls in, did you bet the over-under this year, too, before the season started?
In terms of win total?
Yeah. I kind of want to know that, too, if they're betting people.
Not everyone's betting people.
Yeah, that's
fair
very
question.
true. That's very true.
Who would be the culture-setting coach, Ramon?
Last cycle of this team, hiring, I didn't have Brian Callahan on my radar. I know he was hot name, but I didn't think he would actually get it. Who would be the guy? I told you, if Coach Harbaugh in Baltimore gets let go, he shoots to the top of my list. My guy that I had number one was Flores at the time.
Brian Flores, former head coach you're good. Former head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Brian Flores shoots up to the top of my list. Let me find my list still too. But it's him. It's a coach like Coach Harbaugh. If you can get a guy like him,
I don't think that's realistic. I don't think it's worth even spending time on.
But
with John Harbaugh,
I'm not even sure if Mike McCarthy at this point.
It seems like the league is a little more sour on Mike McCarthy's head coaching chops than the media, than we are even here locally. It's hard to get a third shot as a head coach. Mm-hmm. If you were looking at culture-setting personalities, just from the outside looking in to the caller's question, I think you're right. Brian Flores certainly fits that. I think Arthur Smith is the kind of culture-setting personality that would come in and run things differently, that would wake everybody up a little bit. And I think that Robert Saleh is another one. I think 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, who was not successful as the head coach of the New York Jets, there is a lot out there that maybe we'll get to from a bunch of insiders, including Diana Rossetti, who shook up the hornet's nest a little bit talking about Steve Sarkisian over the weekend. But there's also a lot of nuggets from people like Diana about how Robert Saleh is a shoo-in to be a head coach again, and how the 49ers have prepared for life after him already, and he just got back there.
Wow.
He's only in his first season and his now second stint as the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. That's the kind of coach you're talking about. I think the Titans having very strong interest in this time around. A strong personality like that is going to come in and command the respect of that locker room the second he walks in that door.
The only question I wonder about Saleh is this: what kind of staff can he build again? He just let an entire staff go with the Jets that he was with. Are you calling those same guys back? Is there a tweak to your staff as far as the dudes that you're going to bring in? Because the biggest point of it all to you, I like Robert Saleh as a candidate, but what's the respect factor of everybody else on his staff? I think that's going to be the biggest part that this team's going to have, because as players, our caller just a second ago, I can't have a pushover anymore. No. I won't say I can't have a pushover. I'd love to have a pushover as a coach. As a player, I can just tell the coach what to do. I don't think they have to be in a position where they can just do what they want to. Guys like Tavondre is going to need development, a lot of it.
To the caller's point about we've got too many pushover coaches. Yesterday, Cam Ward wanted to go for it on 4th and short at the start of the third quarter. Mike McCoy said no, so maybe he's not a pushover. He just didn't make the decision you wanted him to.
Yeah.
615-737-1045 is our number. We go open phones when we come back. Matt will lead us off, followed by JB, and we got a couple lines open for you as well. 615-737-1045 as we go to your reaction to Titans and Colts coming up next. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooters Coffee, wrapping up hour one. Will Boldig, Edderbo, and Foster, 615-737-1045. Ramona, I've got a bone to pick with Jonathan Taylor yesterday.
What happened? Well,
After 12 carries for 153 and 2 touchdowns, he is a big reason, why I heard the worst touchdown song known to man 5 times yesterday. I want to shoot whatever that is into the sun, is what I want to do.
heck yeah, Will.
We've got grown adults doing like a Fortnite dance kind of thing, doing like the. Y'all used to have John Cougar Mellencamp, and I felt like you were a mid-'90s Midwestern town, just stuck in like old football songs with the "I don't want to work." That used to be a proper organization.
Yeah,
I know you guys are winning now and you're playing well. I can't actually criticize what you do on the field because you're a really good football team, but my goodness. Whatever that song is, I want to shoot it into the sun.
What is it?
Now that I've got that off my chest, I don't even know. And Justin, don't you dare go find it because I don't want to hear it again. I heard it enough yesterday.
I bet.
Oh,
Don't tempt me with a good time.
no, we're not doing it. I'm not going to. So quit asking.
I heard
To the phones.
I heard it enough
Get that off my
yesterday.
chest this morning.
I bet.
Goodness sakes. Matt is in Shelbyville. Hey, Matt.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
Well, like I said, you guys won 3 games last year, and it looks like you're only going to win 1 this year. So moving forward, I think you have 2 problems, and major problems. One is you're going to need a generational coach on both sides of the ball. So I think the owner should just open up the purse strings and get 2 people, and the best of the best to come and work on the offense and defensive side of the ball. Because if you don't, you might have a 3rd coach for Cam Ward. And then 2, what about the second biggest problem that you have is what happens if Jeffrey Simmons says, you know what, I'm taking my talents elsewhere. And all the other good players and there's not many, but the better players from the Titans say, I want to go play elsewhere. I don't want to lose every week. So you're going to have to negotiate that. So this could be a 3-year process of getting the number 1 pick 3 years in a row. Mm-hmm. So you're because they're not competitive. They can't even be competitive on Madden. So this is just not competitive football, and this is not $1 million football. So it's going to be hard to fix.
Thank you, Matt.
You too.
Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Matt.
I've got counter arguments to both your points. Let's start with the generational coach comment. This roster is not going to always look like this. And the benefit of the way you are losing and the way these things are going is you are going to have the opportunity to draft better football players. And Coach Mack says it all the time. You lose long enough, you're going to start getting a better roster.
Yeah, you are.
So ultimately, if they draft the way they just did in 2025, Ramon, considering the capital that they have, the moves that they've made to acquire more draft picks, the fact that you didn't trade away your 3rd-round pick this past offseason, you've got a full laundry list of picks available to you, and you're not very good, this team is going to have the opportunity to draft a lot of good young football players. And over again. So you don't have to have, prime Bill Parcells on one side of the ball and, Mike Ditka. Like, it just get the right guy, develop the talent that you have available to you, and things are going to get better. Yeah. I know you don't want to hear that right now, and that seems a long way away, but things are going to get better. Second part about Jeffrey Simmons, you just do what the Cleveland Browns did with Myles Garrett. I mean,
pay him to stay. Yeah,
you pay him to stay, or you trade him if it comes to that. Like this idea that, like, oh, but what if Jeff doesn't want to be here? Well, Jeff's got 2 years left in his contract, and Jeff can't just sit on the side, and he doesn't have the leverage to go sit on the, like, and again, we're talking way in hypotheticals. Jeffrey Simmons has shown no indication that he doesn't want to be here. So let's cross that bridge once we get to it.
Yeah, that's what I'll say on this one. I was jumping on the train about trade him away, but at this point, do you set yourself back even more so? Now, if it's about the accumulation of picks, how high up can you go? Everybody's got a price. It's the only thing I say about Jeff.
I don't think everybody does.
Myles Garrett had
this
one.
team,
it was
but
$40 million
right, but he got re-signed. Like, I just think that
million.
this team is in desperate need of really good football players. And there's no guarantee that the draft capital you get back for Jeffrey Simmons is going to immediately yield you a really good football player when you already have one. This team needs more playmakers like Jeff, not less. Back to the phones. JB in the Borough is next. What's up, JB?
Oh, not much, guys. Just headed into work. How are y'all?
Good, JB. Be safe.
Good. So I found my perfect comparison to watching Titans on Sunday as I'm driving into work. I come in from Murfreesboro. The drive starts off smooth. The further I get into Nashville, going through Antioch is kind of the equivalent of getting closer to halftime. It's getting rough. And then after halftime, going into the second half, you're getting into Nashville where it just all falls apart. And that's my comparison to watching Titans for me right now. My call was for this. You guys talked earlier about, building around Cam and what we should do in the future. I see a lot of promise in our offense. It's going to take time, of course, but with, Alec and DK, it's, we got a lot of promise in our offense right now. So I think our focus should be more on defense because our defensive guys are just, it is, it's hard to watch that defense now. That used to be our bread and butter. And now our defense is butter.
Yeah.
Thank you, JB.
Smooth like butter, JB.
Appreciate the call.
And don't get frustrated on the drive up from Murfreesboro this morning.
Compare the Titans to I-24 traffic is tough.
That's rough.
But it's a fair comparison.
Either one of them is rough, east or west. God.
Xander is up next, 615-737-1045. What's up, Xander?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
How's everybody doing? I'm a first-time caller, long-time fan.
Hey,
We're good.
Give it up for
Welcome.
Xander.
Appreciate you hopping in. What you got for us today?
What you got for us?
I wanted to throw a name in the hat of the coach for a head coach. Haven't heard anybody talk about him, but our old buddy Jim Schwartz, I think, might be a good person to think about.
No doubt.
Xander, why are you on the Jim Schwartz train? What do you like about him?
He has had a coaching experience, like you guys were saying earlier. A defensive guy. You got to get an offensive guy to match with him, but I just feel like defensive guys know some of the best offensive guys because they're the ones game planning against them.
Yeah, sure.
Understood.
Thank you, Xander. Appreciate the call. What do you think about Jim Schwartz?
Jim is going to be very direct and upfront. He's going to set the tone. Just him as a leader of an entire organization, I don't know. It's questionable to me.
I don't think Jim showed you enough when he was a head coach to earn another look 12 years later. I think if you wanted a Jim Schwartz type of coach, you have plenty more who are a little more forward-thinking and a little bit newer into all of this that deserve a first chance before Jim deserves a second chance. Jim Schwartz was 29-51 as a head coach in 5 years with the Detroit Lions. I don't think he did enough good as a head coach in his one opportunity to earn a second one 12 years later. If he was going to get another opportunity as a head coach, he would have already had it. I think some people are just good coordinators. I think Jim Schwartz is a really good defensive coordinator.
He's better off a second in command.
I think so.
Yeah.
615-737-1045. Mike McCoy talking about aggressiveness, talking about why the Titans did not go for it on a fourth down early in the third quarter. Are the Titans taking the right mentality into the rest of 2025, into an interim coach? Are they doing enough to just let loose? We'll talk about that coming up next.
It is 7:01. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans fall in Indianapolis to the Colts on Sunday, 38-14, and dropped to 1-7 on the season. Cam Ward threw for 259 yards, a touchdown, as well as an interception. Rookie tight end Gunnar Helm had his first touchdown reception of his career on a 1-yard pass in the second quarter. Then Tajay Spears had the other Titans touchdown on a 3-yard rush in the fourth quarter. For the Colts, it was the Jonathan Taylor show again, as he had 174 total yards and 3 total touchdowns. Interim head coach Mike McCoy will speak to the media later today. Sunday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers faced off against the Packers for the first time in his career as the Steelers hosted Green Bay, but the Packers got the 35-25 win. Jordan Love threw for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns and rushed for a score as well. And other NFL news, per Tom Pelissero this morning, former Titans wide receiver Tyler Lockett is signing with the Las Vegas Raiders today. It's a reunion in Vegas for Lockett with Geno Smith and head coach Pete Carroll, who spent several seasons together in Seattle. And in college football news over the weekend, Tennessee takes care of Kentucky in Lexington 56-34, and they move up to number 14 in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt in a top 25 matchup on Saturday beat Missouri 17-10 in Nashville, and they move up 1 spot to number 9 in the poll. Also, LSU has announced that they have fired head coach Brian Kelly following their 49-25 loss to Texas A&M Saturday night. Kelly finishes his tenure in Baton Rouge at 34-14 in 3.5 seasons. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Seven a.m., hour 2 of Ramon and Will here already on 104.5 The Zone. We are fueled up by Scooter's Coffee. Vibes in football in Nashville today on October the 27th at 7 in the morning, Ramon, have somebody tweeting at us saying, boy, the Titans might not even beat Vandy right now.
That's how you know.
We're talking about, like, are the Titans in a bowling matchup with the Vandy women's bowling team? What are we talking about?
You know.
Let's not get crazy.
Vibes are high over there, man.
Let's not get crazy.
By the way, speaking of Vandy, what were you about to do?
I was about to say we stream the show live on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch.
See, I knew you were going to do something. Had to get that out the way first.
Right.
I just want to say before I go any further, I've talked very bad about, like, the University of Kentucky, like, just because we beat them all the time, and I ain't ever just really kicked it in Lexington, Kentucky like that.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Oh.
I apologize to you, Lexington.
Apologize for what?
Lexingtonites. It's a beautiful place. It's
really?
Like Lexington, Kentucky is a beautiful place.
You are the first human being I've ever heard go to Lexington and come back and say, "Oh, it's lovely."
It is, man. let me walk this back and give you the preface to it. Like, my granddad raised horses too. He raced them too. So like, I have an appreciation for, like, the farms, the stables, the land that they have. It's manicured. Like, these are horse pastures that also have cut grass. I thought the horses maintain the grass themselves, but I guess when you got like 300 acres of grass, you got to cut it yourself. The barns were phenomenal. I already got my 40th birthday planned out. There's a castle in Kentucky.
Okay.
I had no idea. And I thought there was just this old medieval castle that's just like broken down. No, this is a nice place. The Kentucky Castle is there. I'm telling y'all, I apologize to all you Kentuckians that live in Lexington, okay?
Wow. Okay.
Beautiful place. My bad. Your football team is still Kentucky, but what I will say, the place is beautiful, is what I just ended with, and also had some of the best breakfast I've ever had in my life. I'm not giving that place out on air like that because I need this to stay close to me, but I would drive there for the breakfast that I had in Lexington, Kentucky this past weekend. And it's easy to say
this morning
whenever I beat them. So I will say this. I'll be back to Lexington, and I'm doing the Bourbon Trail, and I'm going to the Kentucky Castle. I'm just letting you know right now.
Sounds like a good time.
That was...
We can go back up when Tennessee plays basketball up there.
I will take that
Maybe
trip.
do a show from Outside Rupp on Friday.
I didn't even realize. Rupp is right downtown Lexington.
Yeah.
It's
we
like
talked about this last week.
2 miles away from campus or whatever.
I've been twice.
The E is out on arena outside the building, but like they need to get that fixed. But
so it's Rupp Aaron.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So just my recap on what Lexington was. Shocked me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shocked the heck out of me.
Well, they may need to pay a $36 million buyout within a week soon. So I don't know if that. Maybe they could actually take the lights out of other letters that are working.
That was another thing somebody said to me. Because I had on some Tennessee stuff as I was out. It was like, hey, good luck to you this weekend. You won't need it. I was like, oh, nah, man. Good luck to you. I was like, no, we don't want it. It was like, we want him gone. Help us out, please. We want Stoops gone. I was like, damn.
Kentucky tanking for a draft pick.
Yeah.
Good to see.
They would right now.
So yesterday, the Tennessee Titans lost 38-14 to the Indianapolis Colts, and trailing 17-7 with 11:30 remaining in the third quarter. The Titans, who got the ball to start the second half, had the ball on the Colts' 42-yard line. One of the 5 drives of the first 8 the Titans had to start this game, where they finished their drive on the plus side of the 50 in Colts territory, including the touchdown throw to Gunnar Helm in the back of the end zone for the Titans' lone touchdown until garbage time when they were playing against backups. The surrender index on Twitter at surrender_IDX90 takes decisions to punt or go for it, compiles them all together to a basically, like it sounds, surrender index, saying, are you surrendering the game by making a decision, or are you being the level of aggressive that you should be? A little bit of an abstract way to look at it, but here is the context, Ramon. With a surrender index of 27.01, this punt ranks at the 99.6th percentile of cowardly punts of the 2025 season and the 97th percentile of all punts since 1999. Here was Mike McCoy admitting post-game that he probably should have gone for it.
Well, it was something we talked about. Hindsight, you look back and say, God, the last thing I thought they were going to do would have the big touchdown run after that. So, yeah, God, you look back and say, God, I should have gone for that. But, initially when I said to punt it, you pin them deep, and the defense, had done a nice job through the second quarter, and you pin them deep, get the ball back. But looking back, that's when you wish you said, God, we just went for it.
Mike McCoy later asked at the press conference, do you feel like you are setting this offense up to be aggressive enough? Why are you not taking more chances? The Titans interim coach postgame.
Yeah, you always go. You go into any game, and you're not trying to go out there and do certain things that don't work, things like that. You're always trying to execute. You make decisions for the team to do what you think is best, and at the time. And sometimes that doesn't work out, and it's no one's trying to go out there and do something that's not going to work. You have a plan. You go into it. You say, if it's this down in distance, we're going to think about doing this or that, whatever that is. And unfortunately, some of those things didn't work out.
Interim head coach Mike McCoy yesterday. What did you make of the Titans' decision on 4th and 3 at the plus 42, 11:30 third quarter in punting?
Yeah, didn't like it. Should have gone for it. His ownership of him acknowledging, like, yeah, I should have gone for it at that point. It doesn't sit well. I think this fan base has heard enough of those type of excuses and situations where that's unforgivable with this team. I was talking to somebody as the game was going on yesterday. It's just like he's just got to let it all hang out at this point. I don't know if he's done enough, even in these 2 weeks, to make himself a strong candidate for this Tennessee Titans head coaching job. And you got to play that way. If it goes down, it goes down. Heck, you'll do this team a favor. Miss Amy and Borgonzi and Brink will probably pat you on the back. Hey, thank you for a higher draft pick at this point. I don't want you to put the players in harm's way with your decision-making, but the aggressiveness that this team needs to play with right now to try to win some games, to build some confidence in them is there. The ownership of him saying, yeah, I probably should have. But immediately in our YouTube chat, somebody puts soft in there as all caps. Like the perception is damning at this point with how the play on the field is looked. Got to go for it. Be aggressive. What do you have to lose? No, don't ask that questions. Don't ask that question.
That's a fair question to ask.
You have to. You got an aggressive quarterback that wants to be in these moments right here. Trust Bo Hardigree at this point too, and Nick Holtz. Like, give them something. to say, yeah, we shot our shot every single time we were out there.
Cam Ward very clearly mouthing, or no, he wasn't mouthing it, but looks like obviously he's mouthing it without the audio. Very clearly yelling to Mike McCoy as caught by a CBS camera. What the bleep are we doing, Mike? Go for it. You'll hear from Cam what he had to say post-game about that coming up here in 10 minutes. But in the meantime, we go back to the phones where Jonathan is in Antioch this morning. What's up, Jonathan?
Morning, Jonathan.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
We're good.
It is actually the perfect time for me to come in because that's one of the points I wanted to talk about. But also, just going back to a point earlier about, what this team looked like to start the season, and expecting more out of them. I agree. I mean, you had a defense that, you look at the first couple games they played, and kept us in the game against the Broncos and so forth. But I think there's kind of a loss of motivation, for especially veterans who, see that they're, I'm going to go out there and, I'm playing for a team that's, really not showing any promise in the offense that's not helping us out. So I think there's a loss of not just confidence, but overall motivation. And then coupled with a young quarterback who's making a lot of mistakes. And then, his energy is, not positive for a team that's struggling. I think if Cam Ward could change his energy with like some of these post-game interviews and, how he's conducting himself on the sideline, I think it can help the Titans out moving forward. I wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
No doubt.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I think that's what Cam's asking for. Believe in me. Show me that this is what you want to be as a head coach, because if we're going to lose, let me lose my way. That's how a lot of people feel about what this season is right now moving forward. Lose with bombs and fireworks and just excitement.
Go down swinging.
I'm talking about no energy left. And what you don't want, from what our caller just said a second ago, you don't want to lose that locker room and their motivation. It's like the checks are cool. No, they're phenomenal. They're amazing. Living your dream in the NFL is awesome. But I've been around guys who've lost hope on teams before, either losing their positions or being a part of losing squads. Like careers are cut short with losing. Like they just are. Nobody wants to be a part of a loser, That looks bad when you have the defense, being a part of it too. Jonathan Taylor wasn't supposed to go for 80.
Jonathan Taylor yesterday, according to Next Gen Stats, recorded a career-high 8.4 yards after contact per carry, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns on his 12 carries. Jonathan Taylor forced 8 missed tackles on his carries, generating 131 yards from missed tackles alone. That is the most in his career and the third most by any running back in a single game since 2018.
I know he had a lot of explosion plays, but this should never be the end of the game stat line. 18 rushes, 164 yards for a 9.1 yard average.
That's the Colts team total yesterday. And that's with some runs that brought that average down from Amir Abdullah, Daniel Jones, Riley Leonard, and another backup running back for the Colts yesterday. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's stat line's even worse. 12 for 153, 12.8 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
The Colts couldn't just get a first down by handing it off to Jonathan Taylor. So coming up, have the Titans gotten it right on their mentality and philosophy as an offense under an interim head coach? And what Cam Ward had to say about the lack of aggressiveness in the second half from interim head coach Mike McCoy yesterday. Coming up next.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
What's up? Will Bowling here telling you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. This stuff is delicious. It is always at the watch party. If I'm hanging out watching football, watching baseball, watch a little bit of hoops over the weekend, watching anything, it is how I eat during football season. Chips with dips, wings, veggies, you name it. You can dip it into Daisy French onion dip and Daisy Ranch dip. The Daisy just come out with. I'm telling you, this stuff is a game changer. As delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Make sure that you try some. Grab Daisy French onion dip and Daisy Ranch dip at a grocery store near you. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Lee Company's annual food drive, Vans for Cans, is back. Now until Friday, November 21st, Lee Company will be collecting canned food items and other non-perishable goods in partnership with local food banks to provide meals for our neighbors in need this Thanksgiving. You can also donate online at leecompany.com/vans4cans. That's leecompany.com/vans, the number 4 cans. Every dollar donated equates to 4 meals given. Make a difference with Lee Company and this year's holiday food drive by visiting leecompany.com/vans, the number 4 cans, now through November 21st. That's a Friday. It's one of the many reasons I love partnering with Lee Company, a local business that is involved in our community, involved in local sponsorships, high school sports, proud partners, the Nashville Predators and Tennessee Titans. And this is one of the great ways they give back to the community. So make a difference with Lee Company in this year's holiday food drive. Head online, leecompany.com/vans, 4 cans through Friday, November 21st. Well, players talked last week in the Tennessee Titans locker room about cutting it loose and playing with nothing to lose. Did we see that yesterday? Titans lose 38-14 to the Indianapolis Colts. Ramon and Will is always fueled by Scooter's Coffee. As we continue, would love to hear from you on this, and Titans fans and NFL fans and passersby who are listening. Do you feel like the Titans are being aggressive enough on offense? 615-737-1045. Cam Ward was asked about the 4th and 3 with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter while losing 17-7, where Mike McCoy decided to punt. Television cameras caught Cam very frustrated with the interim head coach, and Cam was asked about it after the game.
If it was up to me, I want to go for it every chance I get, just because I'm a competitor. That's just my breed. That's just what I want to do out of my football journey. And, it's just I just think it's the missed opportunity just for us as a team to get a first down, keep the drive moving. But, we weren't down that much at that time, so we're going to always support whatever decisions made. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't put ourselves in that position. We just get the first down, the third down.
It's Titans quarterback Cam Ward postgame. Ramon, are the Titans being aggressive enough on offense?
No, they're not. But you got to show a level of success to actually be that aggressive too. I feel where Cam is coming from. He's probably looking at it like, man, we ain't got nothing to lose. But as a coach, your reputation is on the line. Like I said, I do look at Coach Mike McCoy and say to myself, I feel like he's auditioning for this job and trying to show that he can manage a game, show that he can be in a position to where if I'm not far out of the game, then, hey, this is our steps. And to me, trusting our coaches to keep us in it and keep us aware situation, because I do think that's one of the main points that he probably sold. Well, I ain't going to say he had to sell anything to the front office, but Coach Callahan's decision-making from time to time on how he called plays is, what he wants to show Coach McCoy that he's capable of. It's just that now there's not much for you to show. Your main point should be showing that you can be aggressive and get this team to a point to where positivity is at the forefront of their mind. When you choose to punt in situations like that, guys, I've been in those situations where it's just snowballed down the hill, not over the course of the season, but over the course of the game. And all you're thinking as a player sometimes, man, let's just get out of this thing safe. Nobody gets injured. And that's the way I felt like that punting situation was for them, is you go to the sideline, you just drop your head, look at your adjustments, and move forward. It's bothersome to the players. Cam thinking that in that moment, I think it shows you where whoever you're matching them up with as an OC next year that does have to play a part. Because Cam at some point, hey, just be quiet. I got this one. Or what do you want to do? Like the communication and respect that he's going to have for the next guy has to be through the roof.
Sure.
It does.
I think the Titans' decision to not go for it on that 4th down and not open things up a little bit more is kind of a departure from what Mike McCoy has said about changes he wants to make. We've heard Mike McCoy speak to media members about upping the tempo of practice, about simplification, about playing freer. Cedric Gray last week in the locker room said exactly what we're saying. Said, we don't have anything to lose. I mean, at this point, guys have got to start playing free. Guys have got to just cut it loose, because what's the worst that can happen? I think some of the Titans' offensive decisions and play calls have not matched that sentiment. It's not lining up with what they're saying during the week. Specifically, yes, I thought the Titans should have gone for it on that 4th down. Mike McCoy said just as much. You just heard him a few minutes ago after the game. That decision is particularly magnified by, the punt that goes through the end zone for a touchback, where you really only gained 22 yards of field position. And it's also magnified by the 80-yard touchdown run you give up on the next play. So while, yes, I think they made the wrong decision to punt it there, that decision is magnified by your defense not picking up where you left off. So it's not all on Mike McCoy. It's not all on the offense. And to be honest, guys, I don't think that decision changes the outcome of the game. That's where things are frustrating right now for Titans fans, and understandably so. There's not one big decision that's costing you wins and losses. There's not one big thing that I think is going to magically fix it. Like, if the Titans are aggressive and throw more vertical passes and have more tempo like we've talked about, and go for it more on 4th and short, is it really going to change the outcome of the game right now? It's where this roster is and how banged up they are. Unfortunately, I don't think it is. But the nature of interim coaching, Ramon, lends itself more towards aggressiveness, towards playing with house money. And unfortunately, the Titans haven't shown that under Mike McCoy.
You know, I think one of the first things you said, or we've seen other coaches be in these situations, you at some point got to make it fun. This ain't a fun league.
And I think Bo Hardigree and some of the play designs are. I mean, like the throw to Gunnar Helm in the end zone for a touchdown, it was fun. It was different.
Last week's first half was fun, right? But to the continuation of the game for 4 quarters, where is that at? Coach McCoy and your staff that you're manning right now, where's that concentration? Are you just trying to get to the bye week? Like, that's the other part of it, too, to sit down and evaluate what you are, because it has been so much of a week-to-week adjustment and readjustment to the coaches being fired to, hey, I'm not trying to do too much, and, hey, should I do a lot? What's going to be telling if he comes out this upcoming week and you find this team on every 4th down going forward? Like, you're not trying to have your players be human crash dummies for you, but there is a side of it. Look, players, what are we doing here? You guys trying to go win and show everybody else that you can compete, because the other part of this that sucks for the guys that are on the roster is this is your resume too. Yeah, like Jeff is fine, right? Cam is fine. You look at guys that are signed here or that are new, those guys are fine. But for everybody else, you're part of what this crap show has kind of turned into. If you don't have the ability to go get extended drives to show, hey, I can make plays down the field, or even on the special team side of things, like there's so many other walking components on this team that are honestly on the desk of Coach Mike McCoy and how he manages this so far. And I think it's, number one, the mentality of what he is. Like, the Titans held the ball for over 30 minutes yesterday. They had the same amount of drives as the Colts did. And the Colts outworked them in every single category. And I do think if you as a team don't feel like your defense is holding up its end of it too, keep the defense off to the side. Let Cam cook at this point. I was a huge advocate of keeping Cam in the box, letting him do his thing. But he seems to be the one guy on that side of the ball that has a big voice, that's asking and demanding more. And Coach McCoy is choosing to sit back a little bit and twirl his thumbs.
Well, and two, I think when you give the defense that opportunity to play against, Indy with the momentum after they forced that punt, and after an 80-yard touchdown run by Jonathan Taylor, now you're down 3 scores. Now the score is separated, and Lou Anarumo can call that defense differently. Then he starts to come after you and smells blood in the water a little bit, because you don't have the luxury of running the football to set up your pass game. So again, one decision, while maybe not the biggest reason why the Titans lost yesterday, does change the context of the football game that then hurts your ability to help Cam Ward. Ramon, this season the Titans have 164 rushing attempts. That is second fewest in the National Football League. They have the 12th most passing attempts, with 274 this season made by Cam Ward. That's not a recipe for success for this offense, because how many times have we said they are not good enough yet to be predictable and good on offense?
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans have to have the benefit of the run game to set up Cam Ward's deep play action, to get their wide receivers a little bit more separation, to keep the edge rushers from those wide splits where they can just get downhill, knowing that they can give up their rush lanes in terms of stopping the run, because there's no threat of the run game. They know the Titans aren't going to run it. Honestly, the one opportunity the Titans did have to score in that first half was because they popped a 41-yard run. The defense got so far uphill on a third down in a passing situation that I thought Bo Hardigree made a really good call and allowed Tajay Spears to get a lane, get some linemen downhill pulling in front of him, get a convoy, and 41 yards later, you're on the doorstep and you're able to toss it to Gunnar Helm for a touchdown. Like, in that moment, you were not predictable. You were in third down in a situation where it was short enough. I believe it was 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6, you can run a lot of different things.
Yes, you can.
You get much deeper than that, you have to throw it. But again, that's what we're talking about. When the score gets separated, when you get put in third down at 8, 9, 10 plus, Well, the defense knows what you're doing. So you can't set Cam Ward up for success. I don't want to be too harsh and say that one play totally changed this football game, because it didn't. The Titans were not one play away from winning this game. However, the swing of punt, 80-yard touchdown run, now it's a 3-score game, changed the way Lou Anarumo was able to attack Cam Ward yesterday.
You know, the other part of it, too, to where you love to have some momentum, is how they ended the half. You get an opportunity 100%. To drive the football down the field. You get in field goal position, right? And he's made kicks right here. It's indoor, no win. And you have Joey Slye miss one wide right. I mean, at that point, you're talking about 10-17. It's a little bit of a different outlook at that point, too, because you get the ball coming out of the half. You got an opportunity for a double score right there if things go your way. But, like, when you also have some of your best players supposedly putting the team behind the 8 ball, too, and he missed 2 yesterday, wasn't it, if I'm not mistaken? He missed 2 yesterday.
Joey Slye missed 1.
He missed 1.
Yeah.
Those types of things right there can't be tolerated, too. It's just there's no momentum to be had when this type of stuff happens, and gotta have it moments.
It was a 58-yard field goal.
58-yarder. Now, that's a long distance.
Missed it right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones. Eric is in Nashville. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys, you're right. I mean, what have you got to lose? You know, we should have went for it there, but it is what it is, guys. But 2 other things, guys, I want to talk about. First of all, Jonathan Taylor, guys. One of the things, of course, and Titans fans, of course, remember this for years. We prided ourselves on keeping the guy under 100 yards. But I think the last 4 or 5 times he's run crazy against us, so you can't hang your hat on that anymore. And one last thing, and the guys, I said this on the post-game show. Tajay Spears, if you're going to say something like, we're going to shock the world, you better be able to back it up, because I'm sure they played that clip in Indy, and I'm sure definitely the Colts in the locker room saw that, and I'm sure they were talking about that. So if you're going to say something like that, you got to be able to back it up. Guys, y'all take care. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate the call. I mean, there's nothing they can say that's going to make you feel better or worse. What do you want them to say? We have no chance. We're not going to win. Like, Tajay is as positive of a dude and as good of a guy in that locker room. I have a hard time really going too far in on that, because what do you want him to say?
To back up Tajay, the week that you're preparing, you're in such a vacuum, because the game plan that the coaches are giving you in the meetings that you go to the individual meetings, to the practices and walkthroughs that you have, with how practice is presented to you, those are like winning game plans. They're supposed to be successful. Tajay saying that is 100% correct.
And Tajay did his job yesterday.
He did.
Tajay had a good game.
I just wanted to paint the picture of what the players are thinking over the course of the week. Like, you do think your game plan is going to work. You're foolish enough to think that, because that's all you know as a competitor is trust the coaches.
9 carries, 59 yards, 6.6 yards per carry, and a 41-yard rush that we just talked about for Tajay Spears, who did get a rushing touchdown yesterday, his first of the season. 3 catches for 23 yards, including a 17-yard gain. Do you want to see more Tajay in this offense, Ramon?
Yes, I do. I think Tony Pollard is you see it on him. Anytime he gets the football, he's getting stopped. He's trying to run through tackles.
Heck, I'm seeing it in the treatment he's getting in the sideline.
You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's
beaten up.
I don't want to make an excuse, because my stance is, you out there, I assume you're healthy. But he's beat down. I think he's always got a stoic face anyway, but you see it in his demeanor almost, in a sense. I almost feel like at this point, if you got a guy that's behind a vet, it's okay to split those reps with the young guy getting a little bit more. Sure. Tajay has earned, I think, a little bit more at this point, and he's healthier and fresher because he's on IR to start the season.
Yeah, I think there's more to be used of Tajay Spears in the pass game. The angle route that he took for the 17-yard gain, I'd like to see more of that. I think especially, Ramon, when you see so many teams play tight man-to-man defense against the Titans receivers, can you get Tajay Spears open in space quickly against a blitz where, again, problem is you need him to stay in and block.
Yeah, you do.
To be able to create some separation in man-to-man, because Tajay Spears and Chig Okonkwo, to me, are your 2 players who are most likely to take an underneath route and turn them into big explosive plays. Tajay has that ability to take a 5-yard out or a 5-yard angle route and turn it into a 17-yard gain or a 30-yard gain, the way he did yesterday, the way Chigakonkwo did in Arizona to set up a touchdown, to set up the Tyler Lockett's peak as a Tennessee Titans player, his fumble recovery in the end zone. Like, that play happens because Chigakonkwo head fakes 2 Cardinals defenders in open space. Well, Tajay did the same thing. So, again, that's where the offensive line's ability to win their blocks one-on-one comes in handy, because if you don't have to chip, if you don't have to have Tajay 2 steps in front of Cam Ward, where the defense knows, all right, well, he's not running a route. He's blocking.
Yeah.
If you can win enough of your one-on-one matchups or allow your tight ends to stay in there and be the extra protectors, well, now all of a sudden you have the luxury of Tajay being able to go out and catch passes. But that only happens if you can protect your quarterback.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, it becomes predictable when you got Chig close to the line of scrimmage and he's got a chip before he gets out. I do ask, where are the close to the line of scrimmage screens at? The middle screens for the running backs up the middle, a lot of rush, get upfield, because the Lou Anarumo defense is going to be what, Will? It's going to be aggressive as heck. Use it to advantage. To your point, get those running backs mismatch up against the linebacker. They have a better skill set then. I thought the linebackers that the Colts have are bigger. I ain't going to say they're slow, but I think especially Tajay Spears is winning one-on-one matchups right there. Instead of using him as a blocker, trying to force the ball down the field, there is a portion of this game plan to where I feel like you can chop away at it instead of just going for the gusto every single time and exposing the O-line, to your point, and just having Cam run side to side because he's under pressure. They schemed up sacks yesterday, man, and we knew they would.
615-737-1045. Cam Ward was asked if the Titans are being aggressive enough. We'll play you his answer next. Plus, we'll get back to the phones. Some lines open for you. 615-737-1045 as we wrap up hour 2 of Ramon and Will next.
Synergex and Low T Center are the original MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. What makes them MVPs? Well, to start, they use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone to increase your testosterone to a level that is right for you. Did you know that other clinics, they may compound the testosterone so you don't even know what you're getting or how effective it will be? Synergex and Low T Center are the real experts that you can trust for quality care. Also, they are the only provider that accept major insurances. Other clinics and online services charge you sky-high pricing for testing, labs, membership. It goes on and on. But Synergex and Low T Center, they make it affordable and they make it easy for you to start and stay on your treatment too. Also, it's not just for the fellas. Ladies, testosterone replacement can also help you too. It's some of the same benefits as men. Women experience many of the same symptoms of men with low T as tiredness, no energy, mood swings, low libido. Women can also go in and get your testing and get your labs done as well. Treatments include testosterone injections or even hormone pellets for women also. Synergex and Low T Center, they have a long history of helping women find the hormonal balance that brings back the balance to their life. So just imagine how much better you'll feel when you reignite your energy. Get back to feeling like you again. You know exactly what I mean. So book your appointment now at trtmvp.com. That's trtmvp.com. MVP.com. You'll be wishing you did it sooner.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee. Justin Hawkins, our producer. Ramon Foster, Will Boulding, 615-737-1045 with Lions available for you to jump in. Cam Ward talked about aggressiveness. Asked, is this an aggressive offense? You'll hear from him in a moment. But first, we go to the phones. Titanomics is on the line. What's up, Titanomics? Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. I got a solution. I really believe it's our strength and conditioning coach. When Mike Vrabel was with us, our strength and conditioning coach used to tire us out and get us injured. Now, our strength and conditioning coaches are making us get our asses kicked on the line. Like, if you look at Cushenberry, he got pushed back so hard by somebody. Like, how are they in the gym? They cannot be in the gym. So that's my solution. And my second solution is bring Amy down on the sideline with a pen and paper and let her get to work.
Yeah, like the Earth say.
Thank you, Titanomics. To your point about the sports performance, that's not the same sports performance coach as it was under Mike Vrabel. Zach Woodfin is in his second season as the Titans director of sports performance. So any issues that are similar to the Vrabel era are not because it's the same strength and conditioning coach. This is a new way of thinking, a new way of operating. And I don't know. I tend to just think they've had pretty rotten luck.
I would say
in terms of their injuries.
Titanomic too, but most times players train with their own trainers though too. I got a great one up in Franklin, man, mine, but it's a matter of what players want to do in the offseason. A lot of guys go to Dallas. A lot of them do position-specific training also to where they're not, I ain't going to say they're not, doing sleds and running hills and stuff like that all the time, but that is very specific to each individual player because more times than not, the mentality of strength and conditioning coaches is this. I'm not going to get you hurt because getting you hurt gets me fired. There's a lot of science that those dudes are using. They're more injury prevention guys, some of them, than strength and conditioning, get you strong type of dudes too. So it's a balance between those guys. The only reason I'm saying this Titanomics is to protect those guys because those strength and conditioning coaches are as fragile as anybody on the team with their job security, and more times than not, too, they're the right hand to the coaches because they see and know everything inside of the building because it's mandatory to go to the weight room.
Yeah, I know that the caller's talking, too, about not just injury prevention stuff, talking about just overall strength.
Strength. That's off-season, personal stuff.
Yeah, and to that point, to Titanomics' point, I think that's more of a college discussion because strength coaches in college have more control over your overall regimen than they do in the NFL, to your point.
Yeah.
You have more third-party individual strength coaches.
Yeah.
And, two, I just think that this team is lacking experience and lacking guys that have done the job before. It's hard to pinpoint and say it's just this person's fault or just that coach or just X, Y, or Z when, there are a lot of holes to fill in the ship right now.
Also, in week 8, you're in the maintenance part of your season. There's no, heavy lifting going on.
Right.
You're just trying to maintain your body, and if you're bumped and bruised, right now, you're just trying to maintain that and try to get through the day. You got a bye week coming up. Let's get to the bye week. Let's get some healthy players back. And not enough of this kind of the strength and conditioning coaches. You're not having 90 players on your roster play like you did a few years ago.
I will say, we're getting to a point to where I guess as much as we talk about this team bad, right, it's easy because you should be able to talk about them that way. But, showing you how far the blame has gone. That's the first time I feel like in the history of the show we've had a strength and conditioning come up with the squad because, one, when you get beat like this, you speak about the physicality that they're playing the game with. The effort, I think, is there, but, this team is just getting rolled. And when they start to get rolled, it doesn't stop. We asked this question for a couple weeks ago. At this point in the season for this team, considering Jeffrey Simmons out right now too, where is the one category of good? Punting?
To hang your hat on right now, it's Jeffrey Simmons. And without him.
I I had somebody tweeted me numerous times. I saw it on social media too. I told you earlier, but it's getting so bad right now with what this team product looked like. When we spoke about it before the break last time, was like, make it exciting. Like I ain't gonna say the fan base. Some are turning on what they think Cam is. I had somebody tell me he's the slowest quarterback they've ever seen in their life. Not to give it more context to it, because I don't want to mess with this person's tweet, but it's like, this is the slowest black quarterback they've ever seen in their life. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, you never met Byron Leftwich, have you? Love be love. He could sling it, but runner, he was not, man. But that's just how far the blame has gone. Will happen right now. You're supposed to be fast, man. But no, Cam is acknowledged. I heard the broadcast yesterday kind of say this a little bit too. Cam wants to be known as a pocket passer. He wants to be known as a football thrower. And that's just his game. I don't think he ran the 40, but I can't see him being a 4-4 type of guy.
Well, and two, on one of those third downs that he had in the second half, he could have run for the first down and tried to throw it and threw an inaccurate pass. And again, there is a level of decisiveness that Cam has got to play with as he creates off script.
Very true.
And we talked about that when we watched Cam Ward's Miami film. Cam's best moments came when he had a plan and executed it. When he would just scramble around and try to figure out the answer to the test as he is in progress of the play, that is when he made mistakes, threw late over the middle, took unnecessary hits, took gambles that he shouldn't be taking. And when Cam runs to run and get a first down, or to understand that, hey, they're in man, I've got a lane here, good things happen. When he starts running around and tries to figure out where to go as he's running around, bad things typically happen.
Yep.
Let's hear from Cam Ward, asked post-game about the level of aggressiveness this team playing to cut it loose. Are the Titans really playing like a team with nothing to lose? Cam Ward on being an aggressive offense here.
I think we're an aggressive offense, especially the last couple of weeks we've been aggressive. I just think we have to capitalize on aggression. From myself just consistently moving the sticks on first, second down. I think when we get behind the chains, that's where we can end up putting ourselves in the hole. And, I think Bo's doing an unbelievable job in the situation that he's in. Being from quarterback coach to calling the plays, him and Nick, they work eye to eye, and they're for sure putting us in the best situation every week. We just got to do our living, the people on the field, and go capitalize on the big time plays.
I think two things are true, Ramon. The Titans could be more aggressive and cut it loose more from a play calling and decision making perspective, and a lot of the shot plays that they call aren't being taken because of the way the offensive line is protected. Mm-hmm. I think both things are true. I think there are plays they are trying to scheme deep downfield that they're close to hitting or close to being able to throw, that one of two things is happening. Cam's getting hit before he has the opportunity to let it loose, or you have moments like yesterday where Elikai Manor kind of gives up on the route a little bit. Cam tries to lead the receiver a little bit too much, and you just miss it. Like, Cam has missed some of those throws as well. I do think that those plays are being called. I also think that they could be called more in spots where you're in short yardage situations. You saw what the Colts did yesterday when they had an opportunity to take a shot. It was Alec Pierce is down there somewhere. Alec Pierce, by the way, who's about to be a free agent. That's the kind of player the Titans need to be able to say on even when it's 3rd and 15. And I know there's not a lot of success that teams have on 3rd and 15 or 2nd and long. Mm-hmm. But some kind of outlet to be able to say, let's not let one negative play derail an entire drive. Where at the very least, either you're drawing a pass interference penalty because you have a wide receiver that can go up and battle for the ball in the air deep downfield, or a guy like Alec Pierce who can go catch it when the ball is thrown deep downfield. You don't have that right now.
You do not. Or one into the end zone when Michael Pittman Jr.'s got a guy draped all over
like a combat catcher. Chimere Dike is a deep threat in terms of his ability to separate. I'm talking about a combat catcher when you can't separate. That's what the Titans are going to be in desperate need of this offseason. Add it to the list.
Yeah.
615-737-1045. We'll get to John in Nashville. We'll grade Cam Ward's performance against the Indianapolis Colts coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Now is the time of the year, man, before now, that you need to be getting those types of things checked out because nobody wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, no electrical emergency going into this holiday season. Most of the time, you don't know what it would cost if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's trying to sell you something you don't need. But when you call Hiller, the expert's going to solve your problems quickly, and the price you tell is the price that you will actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. I'm a user of Hiller, man, and they itemize every single thing that they do in my home every time, so I know what I'm paying for and how much and the why, okay? They've been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated, too. Their techs, very professional, experienced, and trustworthy. And when they're on their way, they will send you a link of the tech and the pathway to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting any time. The motto is, happy you'll be or the service is free. Listen, to book with Hiller or to learn more about them, just simply because I think they're the best. Well, you can go find out for yourself. You can go to their website at happyhiller.com.
Hey, it's Phil Bolick. If you're looking to relocate in Middle Tennessee, you know that it is a challenge. There's anxiety with selling your home, with finding that next neighborhood you want to be in, with finding something that's affordable. You need a local agent with years of experience and a proven track record. You need Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. Bernie guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. There's no risk to you. Bernie will let you out of the contract at any time. He is the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee to sell your home, and if not, he'll buy it. So if you're ready to sell your home, start by knowing its true value. Head online to BernieGallerani.com. Right at the top of the homepage, click on how much is your home really worth. You can enter your address, have the answer in 30 seconds. You might be sitting on a gold mine and you don't even know it. You need that local agent. You need my good friend Bernie Gallerani, who's going to work for you. He's going to get you that best offer for your home. Call him directly on his cell phone, 615-428-2644, or check Bernie out online at BernieGallerani.com. That's Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. Call him at 615-428-2644.
8:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall to the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis on Sunday, 38-14, and they also dropped to 1-7 on the year. Cam Ward threw for 259 yards, a touchdown, as well as an interception. Rookie tight end Gunnar Helm with his first touchdown reception of his career on a 1-yard pass in the second quarter. Then Tajay Spears with the other Titans touchdown on a 3-yard rush late in the fourth quarter. For the Colts, it was Jonathan Taylor's show as he had 174 total yards and 3 total touchdowns. Interim head coach Mike McCoy will speak to the media later today. Sunday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers faced off against the Packers for the first time in his career as the Steelers hosted Green Bay, but the Packers with the 35-25 win. Jordan Love threw for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns and also rushed for a score as well. In other NFL news, per Tom Pelissero this morning, former Titans wide receiver Tyler Lockett is signing with the Las Vegas Raiders today. Lockett was released from the Titans just last week. And in college football this weekend, Tennessee takes care of Kentucky in Lexington 56-34, and they move up to number 14 in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt in a top 25 matchup on Saturday beat Missouri 17-10 in Nashville, and they move up 1 spot to number 9 in the AP poll. Also, LSU fired head coach Brian Kelly Sunday following their 49-25 loss to Texas A&M on Saturday night. Kelly finishes his tenure in Baton Rouge at 34-14 in just 3.5 seasons. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans involved. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the second half of your Monday morning. Reaction Monday every day on Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. It is a great hot coffee day. Really good day. Lean into some of the fall flavors. Pumpkin caramelicious at Scooter's Coffee is a fantastic way to start your morning. Or maybe a way to pick you up later. You can plan ahead. Go ahead and put in your Outlook email calendar, work meeting. And that's your 30 minutes to go buy Scooter's Coffee. I've never done that, but maybe you could. Wink, wink.
It's going to go real good with my oatmeal here on the break after this segment right here. So
I've definitely never put in a meeting schedule for 2 p.m. when my soccer team is playing a 2 p.m. afternoon game on a weekday. That's never happened.
Those types of things just...
Absolutely not.
Beneath you.
Yeah, 100%. I would never do such a thing.
Yeah.
Never do such a thing for my top-of-the-table British team. How do you grade Cam Ward's performance against the Indianapolis Colts yesterday, Ramon Foster?
C-.
Really?
Yeah.
Lower than I expected. Why?
It's a result of the team, too. I mean, I'm effort, attitude, leadership, those are A's. That type of stuff right there don't get you dubs. Your play does. And Cam's hovering, whether it's him, his wide receivers, the play calling, he's hovering at 57-58% completion percentage. We just got to be honest about that. And I'm saying this as a rookie, I'm saying this about his rookie year. Like, that part of it he's got to own. And that's what you expect next year to be for him. There's a big step, a leap, a bound in the right direction, getting those types of things corrected. And the only reason I bring that type of stuff up is, of course, you're judged by your performance. Like, I won't sit here, and I don't think you will either, and act as if it's just all great with him. He's got his issues, too. His inability to decide if he's going to run the ball for a first down. His hot throws to the sideline to his wide receivers that go over their heads at time. That's kind of where I sit, but I can also acknowledge and say that there's not a whole lot of help given to him up front by the guys that's supposed to protect him, or at times the skill players. Chig had a ball hit him directly in the paws yesterday, and it hit the ground. Like, those types of things that happen. His wide receivers can't win one-on-one matchups, but his play is also playing a part in this too, with how he's going about getting rid of the football or just the execution of it.
Yeah.
This is his resume too. He's 57% completion percentage right now as a quarterback. So he starts at a C for me for most Sundays right now.
I think I'd go C+, B- at the very best. 22 of 38, 259, 4 sacks, touchdown and a pick, 76.5 QB rating. The thing I will say, watching Cam on field level, he makes some throws that I have no idea how he fits in there. I do think he gets some higher marks because of how good of a drive he had at the end of the first half. The operation of 18 seconds, quickly move the ball down the field, put yourself in position for a 58-yard field goal. Yeah. He still gets credit for that, even though Joey Sly missed the field goal. I do think that there were some moments where his receivers could have helped him out a little bit. The deep ball to Elikai Manor that was too far, that could have been a touchdown on 3rd and long. Yeah. Cam took personal responsibility for that postgame. Ellick kind of gave up on the route.
He did. He choked it down a little bit.
He did. Now, can Cam put that in a better place for Ellick to be able to catch it? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, I think more of the responsibility is on Ellick, and those two have a great relationship. I mean, it's one play. I don't think there are major issues between those two, but yeah, the problems with Cam, again, are the decisiveness and the ability to step up and climb the pocket like he did in the first half for 4 quarters. Yeah. When he starts running around out of the back of the pocket, that's when you start looking like rookie Malik Willis. That's when you start doing things that you can pull off at Miami or in the Pac-2 that you can't pull off in the National Football League.
Facts.
Now, granted, one of those mistakes and one of those moments where he takes a big sack and runs around in the back of the pocket, he also, one play earlier, had a touchdown throw that went off Gunnar Helm's hands in the front of the end zone that, again, tough play. I wouldn't call it a drop by Gunnar. He'd probably tell you he should catch that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a drop. I think it's just a miss by both parties. That's a little inaccurate, a little bit behind him.
Got to place it.
But an NFL catch that NFL tight ends are making on any given Sunday. Again, your mistakes are magnified by a miss on a play that could have been made that wasn't.
And that's the story of the entire offense.
It's the story of the season so far.
It is. Somebody asked me on our YouTube chat. Y'all can check us out there if you want to see our faces through the radio. But somebody asked, what's the issues with the offensive line being productive? Why are they getting pushed back? Not enough success as far as the run game goes and as far as the pass protection goes. And they're not enough success is what they don't have right now, and they just beat the shreds with confidence. Mm-hmm. All of those things are happening right now. You mentioned the first parts of the game that Cam's playing, and you can tell he's confident in the game plan that's been set out for him. You see that in his play. You see that in his technique that he's using to stay inside of the pocket. You see it in his delivery and how he's getting the football out of his hand. And to my point about the success that you have to make you feel good about what you're doing, the moment there's a drop, the moment there's a punt, the moment there's a situation where there's some negativity, a sack, you kind of see him get looser with the football. He's rolling side to side. And then it's scrap the game plan. And then it's let me figure out how I'm going to make a play. Let me just shove this ball right here in between 2 defenders. And that's a portion that I'm hoping this offseason when he self-scout himself that he notices or somebody points out to him. Watch when you're here and you're in a controlled environment, Cam. And then he has this technique to where he'll just drop his shoulders and throw hard over the top of himself. And I don't think that's the proper technique for him in those type of situations because he's trying hard. I ain't ever played quarterback, though. Cam can probably hear me say this. I'm like, you wrong. Just block for me. And I say, well, tell your own offensive lineman to do that.
Your analysis is more than fair.
It's just what I see.
Yeah.
He's trying hard.
He is. Maybe a little too hard in moments.
When it gets bad, I think that's naturally how he's played.
I also think that's where cutting it loose a little bit, being aggressive, going for it more on 4th downs, might tell Cam Ward, hey, you don't have to do as much because we're going to put you in position to make plays. Mm-hmm. If you bring more of an aggressive mindset and open things up and let this offense play a little bit more free, maybe Cam doesn't feel like he has to press as much.
Right. If you want to be aggressive, we'll put you a running back.
And that's the thing, too, about what the Colts have done. Shane Steichen has asked Daniel Jones to do a lot. And when you do that, you instill a level of confidence in your football team. I think going forward on 4th and 3 sends a message to your team saying, no, we trust you to go get it. Mm-hmm. I also think the inverse is true. When you punt on the plus 42-yard line with 11:30 to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 10, you are telling your players, I don't believe you can pick it up. And that causes A, heads to drop a little bit, and B, forces guys to play outside of their own skill sets and outside of the plan.
Oh.
When the plan is so conservative, you ask players to do too much because the plan is so low in terms of taking chances. You force them to take chances because the plan doesn't allow you to. John is in Nashville up next. Hey, John.
I got two things, and they kind of tie together. First of all, I called in like 7 or 8 years ago and complained about Titans media and their press conferences not being able to hear the question. It's the same old thing. I'm not sure what they make, but I'm probably sure they get paid pretty good money. I've heard high school press conferences that go smoother than theirs. With that said, I hear not a lot of people are talking about this, but I didn't hear the question, of course, because of the press conference. But Mike McCoy yesterday at the press conference said, that's the way I was told to run the football team, and that's the way I'm going to run it. My question is to Ramon or Will, as a head football coach, is the front office telling you how to run your football team? Is that how that works? And I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Thank you, John.
I did hear that.
To the first point about the not miking up reporters, they are doing that every time they are in their own facility. Maybe things are more challenging in road press conference venues. That's the only press conference all season, John, that I've not been able to hear the questions. So I don't think that's as big of an issue as you're making it, respectfully. To his second point, Ramon, about Mike McCoy's comment, and it was about when he addresses the team versus address the media, and why he doesn't, just to provide you full context, a question about why he doesn't address the team before he talks. I think those things are different for an interim head coach than they are a head coach, and that part of the reasons Mike McCoy are there is to execute what the organization wants of him for the rest of the season, right?
So that question wasn't about like him saying the way they want me to run the team.
Let me go find it. It was about like post-game press conference and addressing the team procedure.
I thought it was about play on the field because I ain't gonna say I would have a problem with that, but I questioned that.
It was Paul Kaharski tweeted it, and it was a question he asked, and it was Paul Kaharski. His exact tweet says, Mike McCoy on why he's not the first to speak after a game like every coach I've ever seen operate in the NFL. Locker room opens and players take fire first. McCoy says he's following orders. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about running the football team. It's about why the locker room opens and Mike McCoy isn't the first to talk to his players and he comes to talk to the media.
Yeah, there should be a cool down moment right there if that's the case. Who was it, Mike a second ago? John, my bad. I thought John and I were on the same page right there. This is just post-game operation.
Yeah.
I guess I ain't gonna say it's irrelevant, but more times than not, players aren't gonna say stupid stuff. With or without the coach, you know what you have to say as pros sometimes. The method and how he goes about speaking to the media and then speaking to the players is, I don't know, he's got a lot on his plate. The team tell you to do something, John, what I would tell you is this. Everybody's got a boss. I'm not disparaging your question, but Mike McCoy is in a fragile situation right now. He's a foot soldier, just like everybody else in that building right now, who's probably going to get a brown box at the end of the year and say thank you for your efforts.
Coming up, the college football hour. Tennessee goes to Lexington. Joey Aguilar is still scoring touchdowns since the show started this morning. A classic Tennessee-Kentucky game that we'll dive into. Plus, Vanderbilt survives Missouri. LSU has fired Brian Kelly. We've got Diana Rossini tying Steve Sarkisian to NFL openings, including this one. All of that and more coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster here. I'm here to tell you about my friends at Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. They are a trusted, family-owned Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville to Murfreesboro for over 25 years. This past week, they served at my house in Hendersonville, man. There was a couple of shingles that I had to get checked out. They sent me pictures of it actually over the weekend and say, hey, you had an issue here, and here. And my next question was, does that mean I have to get a new roof soon? My house is only like 7 years old. It's like, no. You're fine. You're good. But we just patched this up right here and you're good to go. Said the roof is actually in good condition. Just has some issues. Well, that's the type of conversation that you can have when you reach out to my friends at Jewel Roofing and Exteriors. Man, that number, I'll give it to you now, 615-868-9999. Or the website is always jewelroofing.com. But again, this is a local company that cares about this community and want to do right by it. Not one of those door-knocking, storm-chasing crews that are simply out for a buck. That's not the case with them. If you want to do like I do and be good with your roof and make sure there's no leaks in the company you can trust, go to their website at jewelroofing.com. That's Jewel Roofing with 2 L's.com. You're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology with top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Dr. Tonya Pauls and her team at Advanced Hair. They've completely redefined hair restoration from the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, I get it. You can address them all with Advanced Hair simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with the most experienced professional. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of these breakthrough treatments. And get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one in Nashville can offer anything like the Advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair, and I highly recommend their team. It starts with your free consultation. You can call them at 629-348-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll also get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that's redefined hair restoration. The number is also, again, 629-348-HAIR, or visit their website at advancedhair.com.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
College football hour getting started on your Monday morning, Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. I think a lot about the people that are in their work commute right now, Ramon. As over the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, we've made this college football talk pretty much every Monday at 8:20.
We have.
If you're making your commute now, you've avoided the callers. You've avoided the Titans talk. If you don't want to avoid it, download the Ramon and Will podcast. Wherever you download podcasts, that's the beauty of the internet in 2025. If your commute takes you in or out of certain conversations you like to hear on this show, well, you can just curate it. You can choose yourself. Ramon and Will, wherever you download podcasts, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch as well. You can just rewind the show, go back. As long as you're listening to us, you can time travel, or it can just be listening to us as we're talking.
And a quick little pro tip you giving me, I usually just sit through podcasts and listen to shows at regular speed.
Oh, no, I'm 1.25.
That's what I was going to say. If you want to kind of speed it up a little bit, but without sounding like, you know what I'm saying, the chipmunks, though. Like, I sound like the chipmunks now as I'm raising my voice.
A little bit.
What I'm saying is you can also speed it up if you got tasks to do and still listen to us and consume us, Will.
Absolutely, you can. 1.5 speed is good, too. Lucas Panzica listens at 2 times speed.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
Happy birthday to Lucas, by the way.
Yes,
Had a birthday yesterday.
Man. Happy birthday to our guy.
Love it. So, Tennessee went to Lexington. Joey Aguilar just absolutely fantastic in this game. 56-34, Tennessee, the victory over the Kentucky Wildcats. Joey Aguilar, according to Pro Football Focus, on throws of 20-plus yards. 7 of 7 for 287 and 3 touchdowns.
Insane.
These are video game numbers when you're playing the video game on freshman mode, Ramon. And that's what happens when Tennessee plays Kentucky in football. Let's go through the good and the bad. What was the good to start with? What did you like about Tennessee's performance in Lexington, Kentucky on Saturday night?
I love how the offense, at any point in time, you can line them up anywhere, put a football down, and say, let's go get it. I know last week wasn't what you wanted to be as far as Alabama goes, but they still held on. They held until a mistake was made, till the pick six. They still are in the fight. The offense absolutely keeps you in the fight. I also love this part of it, though. Defensive splash is phenomenal. The scores, 5 scores on the defense in 1 year. Some teams can't even get 1. Better yet, 2. They got 5 scores defensively for this squad right now. I love the fact that they are rotating offensive linemen and it's working. David Sanders Jr. had a good start. It was his first career start this past weekend.
He looks good.
Didn't have much of a drop-off at all when you look at him being a young freshman. I see why they gave him the 5-star label. I see why he was a 5-star plus type of guy. He checked those boxes. If I'm not mistaken, he was a 5-star plus. But he checks every single box. And I had a back-and-forth conversation with my wife yesterday about we were speaking about, offenses and Nico and stuff like that. And I was just like, Keish. It's my wife. That's my boo thing, man. I was like, man, you've been kind of soft on this whole Nico situation. Like, I get what you're saying. She was like, no, I'm not saying that. She was like, I'm saying it sucks for Nico to go to that situation, but it's a blessing for us as a fan base for the Vols. Like, that's what Nico has done for the Vols team. I don't know if we get that level of play from him, considering we hadn't seen that level of play at UCLA for him. Maybe 1 or 2 games, but Joey has consistently answered that bell when it comes down to his ability to deliver. When you see his eyes, like after the game when I'm talking to him, it's just like, I don't even know if he's aware of what he's doing. That's the good.
Honestly, this is what the 2024 Alabama game would have looked like if Nico could have connected on a deep ball.
I mean, straight up.
I mean, that's the example, literally, if we want to do a one-to-one comparison. Like, the deep passes were there to be completed, and Joey is actually completing them, giving his receivers a chance. Another great game for Tennessee's wide receivers, all 3 of them. Ramon, these receivers are worlds better, light years better than I expected them to be this season. And wide receivers coach Kelsey Pope deserves a ton of credit for that. Josh Heupel and Joey Halsley deserve a ton of credit for the way they have adjusted this offense. You could tell coming out of the Alabama game and the way you lost that one, there was a clear intention to connect on the explosive plays again. And typically when Tennessee can't run the ball, it means bad things for this offense. Ramon, Tennessee did not run the ball well at all in this game, and it didn't matter. That's not normal for a Josh Heupel offense. 4 catches for 138 and a touchdown for Chris Brazzell, 6 for 107 and a touchdown for Mike Matthews, 6 for 105 for Braylon Staley. Tennessee ran for 108 yards on 33 carries. 56 of that came on the last drive, up 56-34, running out the clock. Really, Tennessee just decided, let's see if we can go in and just throw it and win. And not only did they win, they dominated. Now, that's the good. Ramon, the bad. Tennessee has 1 sack in the last 8 quarters of football. What's going on with this pass rush?
Teams are getting the ball out quick. They've recognized that if you put it around the second level of the defense, there's nothing you can do. They're max protecting and finding lanes down the field. Quarterbacks are extending plays on them. The defense makes it hard to celebrate what the offense is doing. Point blank period. They're losing on technique more than they are scheme.
Simple stuff.
If you're telling me that they can't get home to a sack, cool. All right, I understand that part of it. But why? Why are they not able to get home? I think it was 1 sack this past weekend. And I'm not going to play the injury game whatsoever. I'll reiterate this again. The defense is making it hard to enjoy what the offense is doing. Guys are lost. The zone coverage as far as locking on to your man down the field is bad.
Sure.
The explosion plays that they continually give up, the missed tackles on the sideline, the hesitation to go make a play is horrendous. That's the separator into this team being an elite team. I'm talking about top of the top elite. If you can score the way this offense scores, the Vols offense, if you had a defense that was half as good as you needed to be right now, we'd be having a totally different conversation.
I think that there are issues on this defense that just come down to making a play when you're in position to make it.
It's that.
It's angles taken on screen passes and runs. It's fitting the run and being in the right gap. It is just stuff as simple as tackling players in the open field or effort. After you got beat, Boo Carter, on one of the first half touchdowns for Kentucky, we can't be afraid of calling out effort issues and things that are so glaring like that. And Ramon, the discourse on social media, and I had a lot of people tweeting at me Saturday night, I think has missed the mark. Too many people are blaming Tim Banks for things that Tim Banks can't really control at the end of the day. Now, if you want to be critical of the way Tennessee has maybe taught tackling or taught angles, that's one thing. I'm willing to have that conversation. But at the end of the day, Tim Banks is without his 2 top corners in Ricky Gibson and Jermon McCoy. So there's a built-in deficiency there that this team did not plan on having. And B, he's consistently scheming guys in the position to make tackles, and they're just not making the tackles. I mean, I know that your coaches are ultimately accountable when you have issues that pop up over and over. I'm not saying that Tim Banks is devoid of blame, but guys, Idris Farouk taking a terrible angle on a screen pass that turns into a explosive play touchdown. Is that a Tim Banks problem, or is that the fact that you've got an inexperienced safety playing because Jacoby Thomas transferred to Miami? No one is immune from your depth being exposed anymore in college football. Alabama and Georgia have these problems. When you have starters you planned on being there who transfer out and you're forced to put young guys in action, you are going to be inconsistent. You are going to make mistakes. Ramon, I don't think that's as much a Tim Banks issue. I think that's more of a roster construction swing and miss. I think Tennessee should have gone to the transfer portal more on defense this year. And I think that they made a philosophical change and decided to rely more on freshmen and sophomores and inexperienced players. And I think that's really biting them on defense because you are seeing lack of experience and lack of depth exposed with some of the new starters on that defensive side of the football.
I will charge this, though, to Tim Banks. I think Tim Banks holds some responsibility for this because what you're seeing is the same game plan is one of the main reasons why you're exposed. We saw this past weekend, man, Cutter Bowley operate at the line of scrimmage with quick screens. We saw him also at a point to where if you hold on to the ball, he hasn't dialed up enough pressures to be able to get a quarterback down. Or the fact that the structure of your defense is allowing teams to run on you more efficiently than they should be right now. The keys in which they are having or don't have when containing the quarterback is playing a huge part of it to me with Tim Banks. Now, you mentioned guys missing plays. Yes, Idris Farouk got to be good in his angles, right? You have to have guys also, and it's been consistent with one person when there's a big play that's happening on the field. If I got to beg you to come back, to come date me, we're all, let's just from a guy's or girl's perspective here.
Interested to see where you're going with this.
If we break up and we're dating and I come beg you to come back with me, you got me. You can do whatever you want to at that point because you need me, I don't need you. That's kind of the way I look at Boo's situation. And I think a president for almost every university at this point, if they're having these types of issues, have to be just cut off at that point in time. You can't allow those types of situations to, one, potentially mess with the locker room because players see that. How does he get to come back? Why is he also getting the start right now? Why is he getting more playing time than me? Hell, I was here the entire summer. Why is he playing over me? And then if you see this player constantly on the tape around busted plays or missed tackles or just missed assignments.
Effort. Yeah.
That plays a part into the why you shouldn't ask that guy or girl to go date you again. Because I don't need you at this point. And I get paid.
Yeah.
That to me, a hope for Josh Heupel and his staff changes moving forward is having hard conversations. We're better without. I think that's crucial for his development as a head coach and how to deal with this NIL era. Either you with us and you shouldn't allow that to ever happen, or if you do want to go, be gone. And your point out to me is even more so because I think that's the difference between that offensive head coach and a defensive head coach. As a defensive head coach is always going to lay his head on the basics. They always bodies. I need real good defenders. I need real good offense.
Sure.
I think the offense is so good that you tell yourself, well, we'll make up for that on the other side. When you got a defensive coordinator in Tim Banks who's getting torched right now by giving up 34 yards, that's not good for his resume. This cycle is huge for Coach Heupel and his recruiting, specifically to your point. I'm talking about deep tackles and a safety. Pay for it.
2 safeties, really.
Pay for it if you have to.
Safety is a big problem on this defense.
And I like Idris Farouk. He's a hard hitter. He's a young guy. I love what he is.
He's a young player with potential, but
yes.
In a perfect world, he would have been a rotational piece this year, not a starting
necessity.
Safety. Right.
I agree.
They are struggling at safety. They're struggling to stop passes over the middle of the field, and they are letting teams do simple things that result in explosive plays. That's a problem.
Yeah.
For the defense. It's a problem with John Mateer coming to town this weekend, too, who will be looking at the Tennessee defense and say, oh, this is a get-right game. Oh, I didn't play well over the weekend. I'm not really living up to my expectations. I'm no longer a Heisman candidate. No, this is a get-right game for John Mateer, Ben Arbuckle, and that Oklahoma offense that's starting to struggle a little bit more. Big game in Neyland Stadium this weekend.
I do like the amount of freshmen that are playing, though, too. I think Jaden Perlotti is going to be nice.
I really like Jaden Perlotti. He is a bright spot right now.
Yeah,
Edwin Spillman had 15 tackles.
Yes,
It's not all bad.
Guys have been stepping up.
Yeah.
It's just,
right.
You're missing 2-3 guys and 2 corners specifically.
How much better do you think this defense is if Trevon McCoy and Ricky Gibson are healthy?
There's one rule on defense that I always say. Rush and coverage work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Which one are you missing right now? Coverage or rush because the coverage ain't there. Guys can get open. Those 2 things are deficient right now.
I do think that they're – well, I'll ask you this instead of framing it as my own opinion. Does that make the safeties and linebackers' jobs easier if you have Ricky Gibson and Trevon McCoy? Because looking at this defense, it's not all on the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are a lot of issues that Tennessee has defensively that have nothing to do with the cornerback position, but – how could Tim Banks scheme things differently with those two corners healthy versus what they have to do now with Ty Redmond out there?
Man, playing man-to-man and taking away the top two wide receivers, what you do is you buy yourself time. If he can't go to those guys, well, guess what? You can either employ bringing the safety down and being coverage with those guys because nothing's going to give a top of Ricky Gibson and Jamar McCoy. Bam, that solves a lot right there. He's holding on to the football because his guys are covered, so the rush gets home.
I think Tennessee was able to play freer and faster and maybe a bit simpler and more aggressive last season, knowing that 9 times out of 10, with the exception of having Jeremiah Smith on the other team, you could take away a team's top 2 receivers or at least number 1 receiver with your corners on islands. Tennessee does not have that luxury this year. I think there's more being asked of the safeties to cover up deficiencies in front of them.
Yeah.
And you're seeing safeties and on this Tennessee team, one of them being much more inexperienced, considering Jacoby Thomas is at Miami now. You're seeing more deficiencies exposed at that position because of the first line of defense also not being as good. Tennessee really needed Ricky Gibson Jr. and Jermon McCoy to be healthy this year, and unfortunately, they're not. Neither of them are. It makes a big difference on this team. There were some positions, Ramon, where they could afford some injuries.
D-tackle.
Wide receiver, I think, which is wild because coming into the season, I think we were talking about how, man, they just can't afford to have any of those receivers go down. So those young guys look great. That tight end, they've withstood some injuries there. Offensive line.
Shout out to Ethan Davis.
We thought the offensive line was really thin. Nope. They can go 7 or 8 deep at those spots. Corner is just not a spot where they have a lot of depth.
What's the highest paid positions on the team? It's 3 of them.
On defense, it's edge rusher and corner.
There it is. Quarterback and wide receiver.
Quarterback, edge rusher, wide receiver, corner.
Yeah.
Premium position.
Those are the 4.
It's not to make excuses, but it is, I think, to illustrate again why Tim Banks is not getting fired. Like, the fire Tim Banks thing gets so loud.
It's loud.
Ramon, I don't get it.
Yeah, loud.
What do people expect? Tim Banks is putting guys in positions to make tackles. They're just not making because they've never played college football before. Is that a Tim Banks issue or is that a roster construction issue? I tend to think it's a little bit of both. But again, I don't think the defensive scheme is 1 or 2 on the list of issues. I mean, he's not perfect, but again, I just don't understand what people expect. This football team is not built the way last year's was. This is more like 2022 than it is 2024. But the fact that this team still is in a position to where it can control its own destiny and make a college football playoff again, considering all that they lost and the fact that their quarterback up and left in the spring, that is a testament to how good Tennessee has it.
Yeah.
These are champagne problems, and I think we've got to remind ourselves that in a moment like this.
That's true, too. But what I will add to this before we move further, this upcoming offseason, money spent on premium defensive portal players has to be through the roof. Has to be. You got your quarterbacks for the next few years. You got young running backs still. You got an offensive line, to your point, that was surprisingly good this year. You got 2 wide receivers that'll be back. I think Brazel's gone. You got Tristan Keys coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
loaded at receiver.
You need a veteran probably still at wide receiver, but defensive emphasis on money and premium players, top.
I think you trust enough of what you've recruited in high school for your offense. I think you're spending all your NIL transfer portal money on defense going into 2026. But again, we got a lot of 2025 football left to play before we look ahead to that.
We do.
We got a team that could still make the playoff. Oh. ESPN was saying over the weekend, Tennessee a 90% chance to make it if they win out. You control your own destiny. Starting with Oklahoma in dark mode this weekend. Coming up, Vanderbilt beat Missouri. We'll dive into it coming up next. What's up? It's Will Bowling telling you about my new Obsession Daisy French Onion Dip. It's my guilty pleasure during football season, eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching the big game. Well, now Daisy's come out with this delicious French onion dip and ranch dip that are a total game changer. This stuff is so good you can dip anything in it. As delicious as a homemade dip, plus They're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Make sure you try some. It's all around you at your local grocery store. Daisy French Onion Dip, Daisy Ranch Dip at a grocery store near you.
We're really lucky to have Genesis Diamonds here. In a sea of corporate jewelers, Genesis is such a refreshing alternative, man. Genesis can always stay ahead of the pack. With bigger selection, new and trending styles, more pricing flexibility, stronger warranties, higher quality standards. And as we head into the holiday season, Genesis is fully stocked. Case after case of dazzling jewelry. They have rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstone jewelry, luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all at a guaranteed best value price, and no commission salespeople. No pressure ever at Genesis to sell or to buy, okay? And if you're thinking about the holiday engagement, now is the time to get into Genesis and let the experts help you create the ring of her dreams. They've got all the top ring designers. They've got diamonds in every shape, every size, natural and lab grown. Genesis is a breath of fresh air. Locally owned but internationally connected. They have the buying power to guarantee you the best value while never sacrificing on good old-fashioned customer care. You will never be treated like a number at Genesis. Genesis Diamonds, my jeweler. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
Ramona will wrap it up the third hour of the program. College football coaching carousel stuff this offseason is going to be generationally fun. Like as crazy of a college football coaching carousel as we have ever seen in all of our days. We'll talk about it coming up here in 10 minutes. Brian Kelly fired yesterday. We've got Diana Rossini putting out Steve Sarkisian nuggets and mentioning the Titans.
Crazy.
Huh. We'll get into that. Give our thoughts coming up here in 10 minutes. But first, Ramon, the Vanderbilt Commodores did it again for the first time since 1941. They are 7-1. What were you up to in 1941? I was 56 years from being born.
I was about to say a dark joke. I won't say that one on air.
First time that Vanderbilt has won 7 games before November since 1915. I know no one was alive for that. A squad that had one of Vanderbilt's 4 9-win seasons. What was your biggest takeaway? Vanderbilt 17, Missouri 10.
They like to get muddy. They want to keep it close. They want to keep it physical. They want to play within the line of scrimmage. And Diego Pavia will trick you with his ability to throw to the sidelines and not just be all run. If you play their game and get sloppy with them, you lose. Ain't no other way around it. They thrive off of it being tight. And I think it's because of how Clark Leaves manufactured his team to believe this is them against the world. And it has been for decades. It's been Vanderbilt against the world and how they've been everybody's little brother. I think he probably walked around his facility, those practice fields, and just said, you guys have always been known as suckage. You guys have always been bad. You are homecoming bookings. People pay us in the SEC to come play them. And I think that's resonated with those guys. They've been chesty. They've talked. They got a personality in Diego Pavia that's leading the charge in that too. The embodiment of what they are is the favorite underdog, and they're playing to that, even when they were ranked ahead of Missouri this past weekend. I wish you would. It's one of them situations where after school, you go put your school shoes up and go put on your dirty shoes. Don't go outside with Vanderbilt with your nice school shoes on. They're going to make you dirty, and that's what they did this past week. There's been 2 games this year, whether they did it on purpose or whether it just happened because of their physicality. They knocked out Lenore Sellers in the South Carolina game, and Bo Pribula, whether it was by himself or the cause of how they play football, but these are the risks you play when you go play in the mode with Vanderbilt. And I say that as respect. I'm not saying you guys I say that as respect.
Again, we have this conversation a lot. When you don't protect your quarterback, then you don't get to make excuses about, well, if our quarterback had been healthy. No, you put the quarterback in harm's way. Eli Drinkwitz's decision to take the ball out of Ahmad Hardy's hands and put it in Bo Pribula's hands on the goal line on a 4th and 1 is malpractice.
It is.
You deserve what you get. That's harsh, but it's the reality of it. Vanderbilt has knocked 2 quarterbacks out of the game. They might even see a 3rd backup quarterback this weekend when they go to Texas, considering what Arch Manning's status is after getting his bell rung late against Mississippi State, which is another conversation that we'll have probably tomorrow morning when we look at more of the SEC games. But Vanderbilt's trenches play up front makes the difference. I thought this game went exactly how we talked about it and expected it to last week, Ramon.
Yeah.
I thought that Missouri would be able to run the football against Vandy. They did. I thought that Missouri was the better football team, to be quite honest with you. I thought Missouri deserved more out of the game. If it's not for a kicking penalty that takes away a run that would have put Missouri on the 1, malpractice on the 1-yard line, a missed 29-yard field goal, all those things is not to take credit away from Vanderbilt. Ramon, it's actually to give more credit to Vanderbilt, because being a playoff team, being a legitimate program means that you have to win sometimes when you don't deserve to. And Missouri deserved to win this game in most ways. That's a big win for Vanderbilt. What did we talk about when Georgia went to Neyland, Ramon? Hey, this is the kind of game Georgia just figures out a way to win.
Yeah.
Tennessee probably deserved to win it. Tennessee made more critical errors. Georgia took it from them, and when they had the opportunity to take the game, they did. Same thing could be said for Vanderbilt in this game. Part of building a championship culture is finding a way to win when the overall play and the way the game went probably say you should have lost it. That's a program win for Clark Lee. That's a game where Diego Pavia did not look good. He probably played himself out of the Heisman conversation with the way he was in this game. But that doesn't matter. Diego Pavia is not there for Heisman. Diego Pavia is there to win football games. And ultimately, that defense's ability to step up when they needed to, McKylan Young's 80-yard run, they made plays when they had to, Ramon, and that's the difference between winning and losing in the SEC when teams are so equal on a level playing field right now.
You know what's funny is fascinating, and Vandy, the program earned this and deserves this too. But last year, 2 years ago, the chestiness of the Vanderbilt fan base wasn't here at this place. And I respect the ones that have come out of the woodworks, but it is hilarious to kind of see it right now. But you know what? If I'd been down for 50, 60, 70 plus years as a football program, I'd pop my stuff too. I would absolutely pop my stuff too. It is it's refreshing to see them actually be pretty good right now, man. Good for Vanderbilt. And it's funny, who was I listening to? Oh, Jimmy Wyatt. He was talking about it last week on 3HL. He was like, hey, the bandwagoners, they're fine too. He was like, I'm seeing a lot of people that weren't in the stand last year or the year before while he was down in the trenches rooting his team on.
I think the annoying thing for Vanderbilt fans is there's a lot of influencers trying to capitalize on it, like the Theo Vaughns of the world down in the field. That's probably kind of annoying, but that's a separate conversation.
Yeah. Did he get the date with Pavia's mom yet?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't really care. To be honest with you.
Is that going to be a date or is that a Netflix? Never mind.
Couldn't tell you.
I actually saw it on Twitter earlier on Shannon Sharp's podcast, the Nightcap or whatever. Theo Vaughn was on a FaceTime call with Diego Pavia, and he was in the room with his mom.
I'll put it this way.
That is not on my algorithm.
Pavia, you better than me because Theo Vaughn doesn't look like the type to take somebody out for a nice steak dinner and just walk them home.
The real question is, does Diego Pavia get the date with Tate McRae?
No, he's not. He's too short. Respectfully.
I'm not putting my mom out there like that is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, a little weird.
He not going to walk her to the door.
A little weird.
He going to get her Uber the next day. Like, that ain't his style. Respectfully, Theo.
Program win for Vandy. Great job by them to rise to the occasion, make plays late in the game when they needed to, when I thought they were outplayed for a lot of it. And if you're Missouri, my goodness, that one call pretty much changed the entire game. Why are you not giving it to Ahmad Hardy on the 1 yard line? If I'm going down with my guy. I'm not putting my quarterback, A, in harm's way, and B, in that moment, I thought that was malpractice by Eli Drinkwitz.
What it is, real quick, is you're so antsy to beat them that you're trying to find a way to quick strike them to make it seem as if,
get too cute.
Get too cute. Yeah. Get too quick, too cute. And that's where Vandy thrives in it. Be pretty if you want to. Like I said, you better not wear your good shoes outside with them.
Coming up, LSU fired Brian Kelly yesterday, and Diana Rossini linked a current Power 4 head coach to the open Tennessee Titans position. We'll talk about that next.
Go where the pros go. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply to take care of your lawn and have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood. Will Boulding here, joined by my very good friend Trey Hart. So, Trey, after you seed, there is a lot of work still to be done, right?
Hey, Will, yeah, exactly right. Because we know we always talk about how important it is to get that aeration and overseeding done, and because that's one of the most pivotal times of the year to get that done, so you can have that lawn looking good going into next spring. Is that after you seed, you're dealing with an immature plant, and so that plant is very small. It needs nutrients. So make sure that when you overseed, you aerate, and you're starting to see some sprouts. Come in to Dickens, get a bag of our 912-6, 1025. We've got a ton of great options of organic and synthetic starter fertilizers. They're going to help push that grass to the edge because we've been doing it for so long and we know that stuff works. So if you want to talk to us about it, get online, get on our website, and just know that what we're going to sell you is going to work. Stop in and see us. We'd love to talk to you about it. We're conveniently located all over Middle Tennessee. We're in Nashville, Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Bellevue, Brentwood, Lawnmower, Mountain Juliet, and Franklin. If you can't get a hold of us, check us out online, DickensSupply.com.
9:02, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans fall in Indianapolis to the Colts on Sunday, 38-14, and they also dropped to 1-7 on the season. Cam Ward threw for 259 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Rookie tight end Gunnar Helm with his first touchdown reception of his career on a 1-yard pass in the second quarter. Then Tajay Spears added his first touchdown of the season on a 3-yard rush late in the fourth quarter. For the Colts, it was Jonathan Taylor, as he had 174 total yards and 3 total touchdowns. Interim head coach Mike McCoy will speak to the media later today. In other NFL news, per Tom Pelissero this morning, former Titans wide receiver Tyler Lockett is signing with the Raiders, which reunites him with quarterback Geno Smith and head coach. Lockett was released from the Titans last week. In college football this weekend, Tennessee takes care of Kentucky in Lexington 56-34 and moves up to number 14 in the AP poll. Vanderbilt in a top 25 matchup over the weekend beat Missouri 17-10 in Nashville, and they move up one spot to number 9 in the AP poll. Also, LSU fired head coach Brian Kelly Sunday following their 49-25 loss to Texas A&M Saturday night. Kelly finished his tenure at Baton Rouge at 34-14 in 3.5 seasons. And then this morning, per On3, LSU announced that they have also fired offensive coordinator Joe Sloan. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans involves. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the fourth and final hour of your Monday morning, Ramon and Will. We are fueled by Scooter's Coffee. And we got more Titans conversation for you on deck. 615-737-1045. How do the Titans take the last two first halves and find more success in the second half? Or can they? Are the plays there to be made? We'll dive into it coming up on why the Titans have not been able to sustain some early momentum for the last half hour of a football game. 615-737-1045. Justin Hawkins, our producer. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling. Brian Kelly given his walking papers. After a Saturday night defeat to Texas A&M in Death Valley, a report came out 30 minutes ago that now Joe Sloan, the offensive coordinator, is gone as well. Alex Atkins going to be the interim there. A lot of buyout money, Ramon, has already been handed out.
I got a list if you want to go through it just slowly because we got a show.
Go for it.
With the reported firing of Brian Kelly, there's $169 million in buyouts out there right now. Now, one of them, James Franklin, is, of course, if he goes to get another job, then you subtract away from that number. But Brian Kelly, $53 million. James Franklin, $49.7 million. Billy Napier, 21.2. Mike Gundy, 15. I didn't realize he's got a $15 million buyout. $15 million. Sam Pittman, 9.8. Deshaun Foster, 6.4. Brent Pry, Virginia Tech, $6 million. Trent Bray at Oregon State, $4 million. Trent Dilfer, UAB, shout out to him, $2.4 million. And Jay Norvell at Colorado State, $1.5 million. That's we got 5-6 games left in the regular season for college. It's at $169 million right now of coaches. What has changed? Did the portal expose mediocre coaches? Like it's okay for you to go ball and be king of the hill when you can hoard all of the prospects because of the school.
I think you have a couple things going on here. I think that a 12-team playoff gave more access to more teams to have clearer definitions of failure versus success, right? Because if you're not in the mix for this playoffs, then we're going to go get somebody in here who can't. Like it made more teams play meaningful games late in the season. And if you then lose those meaningful games, well, we've got more meaning to fire you. I think there's also the fact, Ramon, that look at two of the guys on that list who have been let go. Well, really three of them. In Billy Napier, James Franklin, and Brian Kelly. All three of those programs invested millions of dollars in roster to give those coaches better chances to be successful, and then they couldn't do it. So then why would you, as a group of boosters or as a university, give that coach more resources again to go try again the next offseason. At that point, I can just throw money into the river instead of, like, why would I give Brian Kelly $20 more million to build a roster when I know that Brian Kelly can't win with this $18 million roster? So I think it has given clearer definitions of success or failure based on the dollar amount and the resources that you've been given.
I know, but all right, so it's two. I'm an older guy with this. I was born in 86. You see what I'm saying? So I came up in the 90s, played in the early 2000s as far as college go.
Yep.
This isn't what college was. Like, the separator between the NFL and college was relationships will be built. Development will be had. You asked me, why should I let them go? Like, let them coach. I'm not justifying keeping them. What I'm saying is there used to be times where you have coaches go through this lull, this drop-off.
Sure.
But they find a way to get themselves back, right?
They were given more time to build it back up.
Where's the time? Because these coaches, the first three on this list, Brian Kelly, James Franklin, I ain't gonna go Billy Napier, really, because he's new to this. Mike Gundy, for instance, maybe he's run his course.
Mike Gundy, that's a different conversation.
Okay.
They've been terrible towards the end of his tenure.
They have been. All right, let's go with the first two. Brian Kelly, James Franklin. It's just the process of Those types of dudes are usually given time to hit the dip and come back out of. It's almost, like the crosswinds have caused the plane to go back up. We're going to send back up. There is no more ascension. You don't get that opportunity. Yeah. We're talking about $60 million or $53 million in a buyout to leave in the middle of the season.
I mean, 12-team playoff has, like we just said, has given more teams access to compete for a national title, and it's raised expectations for programs.
Like I know, everybody ain't going to be in the national championship conversation.
Sure, but LSU should have been. Penn State should have been. I think the thing with Penn State and Brian Kelly, those are two different situations, because Brian Kelly, 10 wins in each of his first two seasons. Last year, 9 wins. This year, obviously 5-3 after a 49-25 defeat to Texas A&M. He's been there for a cup of coffee compared to James Franklin. That is a relationship that's soured between Franklin and that fan base, because Franklin is the ultimate can't win the big one coach. The moment when James Franklin's tenure was over is when he stopped winning the games he always did handle business in, right? Yeah. Against UCLA, against Northwestern. James Franklin never lost those games. The second he started to and then still wasn't winning the big ones, and then we gave you Jim Knowles and Andy Kotelnicki, and then we also have Drew Aller back. The deck was stacked against James Franklin. I still think they fired him too early, but again, I think that's again different from Brian Kelly, who is just, again, we've talked about it all offseason, and with Godfrey this season as well. The last 3 head coaches at LSU have won national championships. Nick Saban, Brian Kelly, Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron, and Les Miles. That is the expectation when you coach for Louisiana State University. Win national championships. I think it's that simple. They gave him resources to build a national title contender, and as soon as the 80 Scott Woodward and the board has high-level discussions, has been reported, with Brian Kelly about changes that need to be made, and he wasn't willing to make them, then you're gone. Yeah. Like, I do think there are things within Brian Kelly's control, according to the reports, that he could have done, and he'd still be the head coach of LSU today. I think there's some nuance to this, that he wasn't willing to get rid of his OC and O-line coach. And, okay, there you go. Well, if you're not going to be willing to do that, then we'll see you, bud. The school owe him $53 million, second largest buyout in college football history.
Behind A&M.
Only behind Jimbo Fisher, yep.
We had a call earlier. Titan Omnis brought up the strength and conditioning coach for the Titans.
That's a big conversation with LSU.
And I know. What was the head coach at A&M?
Mike Elko.
Mike Elko.
Yep.
Made it a point to point out the strength and conditioning coach and say that was him. He pretty much told him.
Long-time LSU strength and conditioning coach.
The strength and conditioning coach told pretty much, pull out the big leather belt. And that's exactly what happened to LSU this weekend. Like, don't bring back a little switch. No, this is personal to me, coach. And he absolutely gave
Tommy Moffitt, the guy's name.
What a name. Coach Moffitt.
It sounds like a strength coach.
It sounds like somebody that don't play about being in his weight room on time. Why would you fire that guy? And I remember when it happened, too, because everybody was shocked. LSU former players spoke out about him being let go because he knew that area. He knew the weather. He knew what those players could take. and you bring in your guy, and I get that part of it too. But some dudes are just unmovable.
I agree. Where I think this discourse can't go, Ramon, is about the fit and the fake Southern accent and the Louisiana part of it.
It can't go that way?
I don't think so, because Ed Orgeron was as Louisiana as it gets, and they ran him off 20 months after winning a national championship. I think the fact that Brian Kelly didn't embrace Louisiana and wasn't a cultural fit maybe made some fans be out on him before he was ever really even in. But if he was a winner, nobody would care. I think the fit thing gets too overblown. Like, Brian Kelly could be from Portland, Oregon, and if he won football games, they would all be drinking coffee and would be wearing skinnier jeans and listening to Mumford & Sons. If you win, fans will love you. Josh Heupel's from, South Dakota?
South Dakota.
Cool. He wins football games. He's met expectations.
I agree there.
Expectations at LSU are national championships, plural. Be in the mix for them year in and year out. And in a 12-team playoff era where it is easier than ever to put yourself in the dance, Brian Kelly couldn't do it. See ya. It's going to be really interesting to see where they go next. This immediately becomes the best job available. No question. I don't think it's even up for debate. At Penn State, Florida, you could debate. LSU is the best job on the market.
Rich.
My next question then, Ramon, is, and I know this guy won over the weekend, but if you're Auburn, do you wait a year now?
What you mean?
Because there are a lot of big programs that have more to offer than you do who are available. And Ramon, this is the type of cycle that also creates more openings at other P4 and SEC jobs, because coaches are going to get poached. This is going to be a coaching carousel akin to Marcus Freeman getting a Notre Dame job because Brian Kelly left. Like, yes, right now you have openings at Arkansas, Florida, and LSU. But do one of those three openings mean you have an opening at Missouri? Then who does Missouri go get? Does that mean you have another opening at a P4 school? This is going to be one of the craziest coaching carousels we have seen in the history of college football.
I would say hold on it. Now, you're more fluent in LSU, Auburn than I am. Auburn would tell you they have all of that. They're fans.
No, yeah, they have resources, but that job is not at the same level of LSU. It's not.
I believe you. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Recruiting Louisiana, the history, the tradition, the facilities, the money that you have.
They're not far removed from a national championship. I mean, it's been a minute. They've like Heisman Trophy winner. There's a lot
more
there.
Removed than LSU is, though.
Okay, that's
LSU
true.
just had Burrow.
I'm defending Don Davenport.
I know
here.
what you're doing.
I'm defending Don Davenport here.
But if I'm Auburn, I've got to think long and hard about, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth trying to jump over all these other places for John Summerall? Kentucky's got to ask the same question, but Kentucky, that's a much more dire situation with Mark Stoops than what Auburn's got with Hugh Freeze. But I don't know. It's just a thought. I mean, again, if the right boosters get angry enough and Hugh Freeze loses enough games late, he might seal his own fate, and this might be a moot point. But at this point, there are so many 5-star openings and A-plus jobs available that you've got to be confident the money is there. You've got to be confident there is alignment on the right replacement, and that you've got your ducks in a row if you're going to pull that trigger and enter the coaching carousel in 2025, because some teams are going to be forced into it. Yeah. I think others might put it off a year and say, you know what, let's wait for the top candidate in 26, because our top candidate might not be realistic for us to get.
But then you run the risk of Hugh getting it together.
Well, I mean, that's a good problem to have if he can really get it together. I don't think that program is in as bad a spot as people think. I just think they have swung and missed on quarterback now twice under that head coach, under Hugh Freeze. They've had some good high school recruiting classes. Are you willing to stomach this season enough to say, please, if just one of these quarterbacks is halfway decent, maybe we'll have something? You know who the first call has to be for LSU, though, right?
Hold up. It ain't Lane. James Franklin?
No, you just fired James Franklin. His name's Brian Kelly. They're the same coach. I'm serious. They're the same guy.
I feel you. That was a good one. I didn't expect you to say that, though. Who's your first call?
Terry Saban.
No, don't do this.
Miss Terry is Nick home?
No.
You have to call him.
I know you have to call him, Will. It's just like
As
summoning the
Matthew
devil
McConaughey
here.
says,
No!
sometimes you got to go back to go forward.
No, sir. Don't you? No, take that out of the air right now.
Spooky season, Ramon. Halloween's this week.
Don't play you like that. Don't, no.
I just turned the lights off at the
Billy
bathroom and looked in the mirror and said, I do not believe in Nick Saban. I do not believe in Nick Saban. I do not believe in Nick Saban. And see if he appears at the back of the mirror.
Do. Oh, give
do that in elementary school.
I got an even better name. Butch Jones. That's who they need.
All right. Coming up, we'll talk Titans
Where's
again.
Jeremy Pruitt
now that we've linked Butch Jones to the LSU job, we can get back to Titans conversation.
Will.
You have to call him.
This is like saying Candyman in the mirror as a kid. Nope, absolutely not. He looks like he's having a real good time on the college game day set.
Our good friend Big Orange Mac on Twitter lets us know Tommy Moffitt is a Springfield native.
Is he really?
Robertson County stand-up.
LaRoe County.
One of the best strength coaches in all of college football. No doubt. There was an uproar of former players, too, when he got let go there.
There was.
And this is why. And he was taking pictures on the Eye of the Tiger over the weekend. He earned it.
Why would you say? I'm not over the Nick conversation.
You have to call him. But if he doesn't pick up, we'd have Derek Dooley's number. Coming up, we'll talk Titans. What do they have to do to sustain first half success into the second half? Next. Monday morning, Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. 615-737-1045 is our number. So there was a report on Saturday that we have to at least address, right?
Man.
As we talk Titans, this is the intersection of the College Football Hour and Talking Titans. Because Diana Rossini put out there this was Saturday morning, that Steve Sarkisian was in the mix for NFL jobs, including the Titans. The exact words from Diana Rossini, quote, "I'm told that representatives for Texas coach Steve Sarkisian have let NFL decision makers know that he would be interested in potential head coach openings, including the Titans." Now, this was handled a little bit differently after that, Ramon, because we see names get mentioned for jobs all the time. And agents will back channel things, and Jimmy Sexton does his job, and all this stuff about, hey, let's put this guy out there for this. That way we'll get him a raise here. And even if they don't want to leave, they'll, have their names put out there to get him a raise. Well, then CAA put out a statement and said any reports regarding communications on coaching opportunities with NFL teams are patently false and wildly inaccurate. Steve Sarkisian, they say, is solely focused on coaching the University of Texas football team. That's not normal. Because usually when agencies have stuff like this happens, not addressing it, at the very least, just means you're going to get an extension from your current job. What did you make of this on Saturday morning?
I think the big money folks at Texas reached out to him and probably got him in shape real quick. It's the reason you had CAA making that statement. This usually doesn't happen. Texas, to me, is not like any old regular job. You understand how deep those oil wells are, which means pockets are too. Him begging to leave Texas is almost as if, brother, don't do this. You have it good here. And we will make it worse for you if you do that. And not just that part of it, to your same part about Brian Kelly. They've given him the opportunity for every single thing that he's won. Whether this was him having loose lips and giving this to Diana Rossini. Golly, I'm missing it to Razi and Rossini. But even they're giving it to her in a way that they just want to see what the temperature would be like for him. But it's flagrant for a guy like himself. The reclamation project that he's been for his life, for the University of Texas also, they seem to be one and the same to me with what Sarkisian is. If you feel like this team is met with a low ceiling, well, it's because of you. We've given you everything that you wanted. They literally have. You got Arch, and I'm sure Arch wasn't cheap no matter what the Mannings say.
Absolutely.
I just never saw a coach want out. For this to be out, somebody in his camp or himself have had loose lips about the next opportunity for him. And the other side for me is for these college coaches that are wanting a bite of the NFL. There's one component of this that you cannot control. The same thing with Tony Vitello going to the Giants. You can't handpick your guys anymore. You don't get 20 of them coming in a year. You don't get that luxury when you go to the NFL.
Sure.
He's managing an NFL roster right now.
He is. There's no doubt about it.
It just seems flagrant for me, I'll be honest with you, from him or his camp to kind of put that out there.
I wonder, again, what the source of this is, because maybe I'm too naive. I think if there was any world where his camp was back-channeling that to Diana Rossini this week, they wouldn't have put out the statement that they did.
You're talking about CAA?
Yeah.
I'm talking about directly him or his wife or him or his kids.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the point of it. For CAA to back this up as quick as they did.
That's just really not normal.
I don't think that's an agency.
I don't think so.
Those dudes usually pull the pin, throw the grenade, and just watch the chaos.
I think these are NFL people talking about college people. That's what I think is going on. I think maybe a combine conversation, a draft conversation, an offseason conversation got brought to the forefront because of the way Texas season has gone. To me, it's somebody outside of Steve Sarkisian's camp talking about Sark's interest secondhand. That's more the vibe I get on this, is that someone in the NFL spoke on behalf of Steve Sarkisian who isn't directly related to Steve Sarkisian. That's my guess. But again, it's hard to speculate about sources and where reporters are getting things. All I know is that Diana Rossini is credible. Diana Rossini knows her stuff. Diana Rossini would not put this out there without some semblance of foundation and some semblance of, backup. I believe her and I believe the report, but I do believe it's more likely somebody speaking on behalf of Steve Sarkisian than it is Sarkisian back channeling anything publicly at this point.
I see it as the same too. There's, to me, there's no difference in what he's dealing with this year with Texas, although he's got more wins with them. They've underperformed than if he really wanted this Tennessee Titans job.
I mean, from the one hand, on the one hand, coaches tied with Texas, considering Amy Adams-Strunk's place in Texas.
Is he a Texan
Considering
himself,
the
born?
link between, no, I don't think so.
I'm checking. I got it pulled up.
But considering the link between Texas and the Tennessee Titans organization through history, that part of it is what makes sense. Not that that's everything. I mean, obviously, but that part of it, I think, actually checks out a little bit. He's from California.
He's from
Torrance,
Cali.
California.
Yeah, he's Cali.
How would you feel about that? Let's play the game, hypothetical game. If the Titans hired Steve Sarkisian, would you like that hire?
Nope.
Why not?
It's the same with Coach Brian Callahan.
How so?
Inexperience at this level for this job.
He has called plays at the NFL before.
I ain't got no problem with that one.
Okay.
Manning an entire roster.
Yeah.
The draft. The coaches, who are his NFL connections as far as coaches? Remember, that was one of my biggest things. The staff, even if it's a guy like Robert Saleh, what is your support staff like? Because it's teams at a point where you put another fool in here or inexperienced joke, you're going to lose them for another 5 years after this one. The experience of on-the-job experience and time for this particular team with the young rookie quarterback in Cam Ward is essential.
Yeah.
I think you're hiring Brian Callahan 2.0 if you bring in Steve Sarkisian. And I mean that with all due respect to Coach Callahan and to Sark. I think this job with the pressure that it's going to have for the next 4 years under Cam Ward shouldn't allow a coach like him to come in and be a head coach. And that's just my personal experience from a player's perspective. Like, what is this guy going to tell me? He ain't ever coached in the NFL. He ain't ever been – well, he ever had a long stay in the NFL like this.
I do agree that it's too big of a risk for where the Titans are, although I could get a lot worse fits for Cam Ward.
I agree.
But, again, it can't just be about Cam Ward. This team's got not bigger. This team has more issues than just quarterback. I mean, one of his assistants was Raheem Morris. You could bring him in to help out. Oh, wait, he is the current head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
Exactly.
I don't know if he will be maybe next year, but for right now he is. No, I think you could do worse. I think you could also do better. Honestly, Ramon, if I'm taking a college coach right now,
who you taking?
Dan Lanning.
I would not understand.
If I'm hiring a current college coach, again, and this is not realistic because the Titans cannot take that risk in the position that they're in right now. They just can't. But if you were forced, if you made me hire a college football coach today, a sitting college football coach, I would hire Dan Lanning to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. That's not going to happen, though, because that's far too big of a risk.
How long is the list for college head coaches to the NFL? Him?
Meaning current ones that you would consider?
That you would say, I'm plucking him. We got to
That's a good question.
Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning is definitely one of them.
One.
Mario Cristobal would be another one.
He's underperformed.
With
maybe. That same roster, he's Sarkisian.
He would be another one, though, if you're just talking about, to your point earlier about culture setting, program building NFL coaches. He would be another one. Let's see, just going down the SEC. I mean, Brian Kelly's available now. I'm kidding.
You said a serious
I'm kidding. I don't know. Who else do you think?
That's a short list. That's it. I'm looking at Ryan Day, college coach to the core.
Not Ryan Day.
To the core. It's got to be a winner. He's a college coach to the core.
Surprised no one said Clark Lee yet. Kurt Cignetti's set where he is.
Cignetti's set.
Yeah.
Clark Lee?
He's a leader.
Yeah, he is, but he's got to sustain more success where he is now to be considered for NFL openings.
Yeah.
Plus, you can't run the wing T in the NFL.
You still, but you can't.
No, what? I'm serious.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's not a long list.
Clark Lee's set where he is, too. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying Clark need to jump ship.
I don't see it.
That's been a huge conversation. Well, I'll say on social media, he needs to leave. And I'm thinking, for what?
Honestly, the other college coach
who
is Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley's the other college coach that would get a look. Considering what he has done in developing quarterbacks, and considering that he may have met his ceiling at USC already, which is kind of sad for them. I don't know. He's kind of stuck in a position where I don't think he can build a Big Ten contender in the area of the country that he is in. He's going to prove that to me, that he can build a Big Ten roster to win in the trenches with cold weather teams in a warm weather state with warm weather recruiting. But Lincoln Riley would probably be the other one. Marcus Freeman's another one. That's a good shout.
Marcus Freeman.
That's a very good one.
He's treating those guys like NFL players over there too.
Yep.
I just, other than Marcus Freeman,
Dan Lanning is far and away the one that I would like the most out of all those guys. I think Dan Lanning is an absolute stud.
I'm looking at the top 25. Clearly Sarkisian. Somebody in his camp, to your point, I just got a text from somebody who's like, Will is right on. Somebody in Sarkisian's camp pushed that one to the front.
And not his money camp.
No.
It's a friend. It's a relative. It's. And again, I think it could be something that goes back to something he may have said offhand.
I'd love to have that national job.
In Indianapolis at the NFL Combine. Like conversations like that lead to more conversations in the fall that lead to then that coming out.
Harold put in our chat, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin did this one before.
Lane failed so miserably with the Raiders. And I know that that's an eternity ago, but I think, and again, you talk about schematics. Like if Lane Kiffin is an option, then so is Josh Heupel. Because Lane Kiffin runs the same wide splits tempo offense that Heupel does. He's had success as an offensive mind because of the way the college rules are set up. I don't see that working.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I do wonder if some coach gonna try to come in and run that.
Oh man, it'd be interesting.
I do wonder. Not that they will, but I do wonder when is that going to happen? Or is it too risky at this level to have that be the case for a widespread offense?
Yeah. Titan Scott on YouTube says, Will refusing to name Lane. Yeah, it's because of the system.
Lane's tried this.
And it was a long time ago, I know, but it did not go well last time.
Respectfully, I'll say this. I think the NFL view Lane Kiffin as a joke if he's attempted to do this again.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Thort. I hope I'm saying that right. I think I am. Talking Titans. What's up, Thort?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, what's going on? Hey, Ramon.
Yeah.
It's April from the barbershop.
Hey, what's going on? April called in.
Yeah. I ain't going to hold you up, man. I just wanted to say the Titans are like little babies. You got kids. You know, when you first teach them how to walk and they get up on the couch and, you know, you stand in front of them and, hey, come here, little buddy, come here, little buddy. And they take 3 steps forward, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps backwards and fall down. And now you got to go pick them up and baby them and stuff. That's just what it's like watching the Titans every week, man. You know, it's kind of depressing. So I just wanted to say that.
Just voice your opinions today, man. Wow, Atra, I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you, Thor. Appreciate the call.
That's my guy right there, man.
Love it.
God. Yeah, I have counseling sessions with him weekly.
Nice.
At the barbershop.
Love that.
No, I'm serious. We talk the Titans, and we just every portion of it, and now we're going to talk Sarkisian on Thursday.
One commenter on YouTube says, Coach Prime. Coach Prime's about to get fired at Colorado.
Hey, God.
Coach Prime is not an NFL candidate because he might not be a college candidate much longer.
He got the big leather belt this weekend.
Did you see that? The stat line at halftime? Utah, with a backup quarterback, was up 40-0 on Colorado.
Yeah.
Total yardage was 396 to -19. Had to just let that one breathe for a minute. 396 to -19. I don't think Deion Sanders is going to be the head coach of Colorado in 2026. He may step down. He might not get fired, but him without his son at quarterback for the first time in his coaching career doesn't look good.
Prime checked out.
Whew.
Like, Prime is all the way checked. Health reasons aside.
Did you see the video of Caden Salter getting a play call from the offensive coordinator, and you could see him looking right at the camera just going, what? As the calls be given to him in the headset?
You know Deion's problem, too? He went out and got a lot of NFL coaches and personalities.
Like Warren Sapp kicking over pylons before games. You know, the other thing he's got, too, he does not have any sympathy from the coaches he's playing against.
No.
If you are a longtime college coach, like Mark Stoops on Saturday, Josh Heupel called off the Dogs.
Yeah, he did.
There are two coaches that teams are going to run up the score on anytime they get a chance. Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders. They don't have the benefit of being longtime college coaches and in that fraternity of coaches that see each other down in Destin every summer and hang out at the beach houses and their kids are friends. Coaches take care of each other, and it's a tight-knit fraternity. That's two coaches that are not a part of that tight-knit fraternity.
That is 100%
And teams are
facts.
going to kick him when he is down. Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick, same way.
You want to hear for the night? Colorado had 102 yards passing, 1 interception,
all in the second half too.
And for the run game, they had 38 yards and 1 touchdown, the lone one of the fourth quarter. We're talking about
bad, man.
140 yards of offense over 60 minutes.
They are terrible, Colorado. Terrible. Yeah. They still don't have a quarterback. Tennessee legend Caden Salter there. It's brutal.
Can you take away somebody's ring of honor? I'm so serious. I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm serious when I ask that. I'm talking about Shador's.
Honestly, Shador looks even better now, considering how bad they look without him.
I was just I was dead
They might
serious.
make the font bigger.
With as bad as it's gone in year 2 or whatever year this is, I don't know.
Coming up, we will get to this topic. I know, apologies. We were going to get to this in the last segment.
We had something else
didn't
to
yet.
talk about?
Yeah, we did.
We got a lot to talk
How do the Titans take their first half success and find more success in the second half? It's probably a bigger conversation we'll have tomorrow, but we'll at least open the topic coming up next.
Is your concrete in need of repair? Maybe your sidewalk is shifted on, your driveway is cracked and sinking, or your porch steps have moved. Shifted concrete can create a dangerous situation, just trip hazard around your home. It's also a big eyesore. It's Ramon Falston. Whatever's going on with your concrete, call United Structural Systems. Ask them about the polyurethane foam injections. You've heard about USS for a long time. It's the same company that's provided superior foundation repair and waterproofing to Middle Tennessee since 1994. Well, they can fix your sunken or settling concrete. USS uses polyurethane foam injections to lift and repair your sinking concrete in a matter of minutes. Lifted concrete can be walked on immediately or even driven on after about 30 minutes. So don't go through that long, expensive process of ripping out and replacing concrete. Reach out to the company I trust, man. You can go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com or call them 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Ramona Will at 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooters Coffee. Wrapping up the show. Buck Rising has you covered coming up next. Then, of course, cover 2 with Blaine and Zach. And 3HL. I did not follow Buck's advice over the weekend, and it worked out beautifully for me. I was asking him advice on where to go in Indy to watch football on Saturday night. And I forgot that Buck and I's tastes couldn't be more different. Mm-hmm. And so I did the opposite of what he told me to do, and it was the right choice.
Hey.
I was like, should I go? I guess I can shout out establishments that aren't local. I was like, I think I might go to Kilroy's to watch football. Kilroy's stuffed breadsticks, by the way, they're world famous. At least that's what the menu says, so I believed them. Great place. Great place.
Well,
I love Kilroy's downtown.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, don't do that. Don't go to Roy's. You can do better than that." Went there. Joseph Bonanno and I had a great setup. We had about 4 TVs on. We had the World Series on with the Vols. Had Taylor Zarzer on the call for Texas, Mississippi State, which we'll talk more about tomorrow as we talk about all the other SEC games that happened that aren't local. It was perfect.
You enjoyed yourself.
I did enjoy myself.
That's what's up.
It was a good time. How did the Titans sustain some of their first half success into the second half? Another half, again, where they looked decent. They were in the game. They didn't finish drives.
Right.
But at halftime, Ramon, of this game, they had only been outgained by about 30 yards. 205 to 174. What's not happening in the second half that is in the first half?
It's usually the first 5 minutes of the second half plays a huge part into it. They come out and end up punting the football away, and then immediately you have Indianapolis get a score. One is not getting down by that far to where you become one-dimensional. That's what's happening is it's the talent not being good enough to sustain it, and they're also just wearing down because teams pile on to them. Both of those things are hand-to-hand on how the first half and the second half are just 2 totally different stories. They come out hot because they're fresh. They got the game plan. They're optimistic about winning football games. I'm talking more about like the psychology of how these games go. When you've been on the losing end of things, more times than not, it only takes 1 or 2 moments to take you to that dark spot, and that's essentially what is happening. I mean, we're watching this team hold them to 17 points and for the entirety of the half while the Titans scored 7, and then immediately going into the third, you give up 14 points. And not just that, I mean, it's a situation where they get into the quarterback, they're able to run the football on them. I think if you were watching that game the way all of us were this past weekend as listening to this show, when Jonathan Taylor hit the 80-yarder, you felt it. You knew exactly what the rest of the day was going to be. And not just the way he hit that one. Like, there were 2-3 opportunities to bring him down on the sideline. And your best, fastest players, right, couldn't bring him down as he tightrope for an 80-yard touchdown.
It just feels like the disaster plays are happening in the second half.
Wearing down.
Against New England, it was Cam Ward fumbling it for a touchdown. Against the Colts, it's the 80-yard Jonathan Taylor run. The dam breaks. You get worn down, and all of a sudden a disaster play happens, and you're not set up for success to be predictable and good. You got to have the benefit of the run game in order for this pass game to be explosive and to be consistent. You've got to have the benefit of being able to run the football, or the defense having to respect the run game in order to protect your quarterback long enough to find space downfield. And then you get down 3 or 4 scores, and they can tee off on you, or they're just going to play cover 4, or they're going to sit back and let you dink and dunk against you because it's running the clock.
Yep. It's and now we're seeing this trend. So I don't want to call it trend, but there's a Titan alum, Keith Bullock, that brought up the mentality of players like copping out. You get a real opportunity to see who's in the boat with you right now, the players who've given it their all.
It's well put.
Bully was on one this weekend. I think he's 100% true.
Back at it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. VolQuest Sauce and Price previews a dark mode game between Tennessee and Oklahoma at 8:20. Potentially more Vols conversation as well with another guest we're looking to confirm. Josh Elander got hired as a Tennessee baseball coach over the weekend. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit as well with Austin. And hear from Mike McCoy today, react to Titans pressers, and start to turn the page. Bright and early. We'll talk to you then, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
No doubt. Titans fans, there will be better days. I don't know when, but there will be. But always remember, Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.